All right, ladies and gents, let's get this party started, will we? We will do it. Let's get her started. Let's do an audio test. Make sure she's working good. All right, ladies and gents, let's get this party started, will we? All righty. Let's see. All righty, Ann. What's going on, everyone? All right, everybody's in the house. All the prime suspects. Let's see, we got Mr. John Beck's in the house. Photography Like Magic. Arts and Crafts is in there. Renee Cruz is in the house. Oh, yeah. Mimi Reacts is in there. Arts and Crafts, as I said. Slick 902 says hello all. Mr. James Cragen's in the house. What's going on? Miss Heard's in the house. What's going on? Good to see you in there. What's going on, Noodles? Good to see you in there as well. Mr. Joss D's in the house. John Sharp. And John is actually, hey, moved house last week. Been out of the radar. Been off radar. Well, it's good. Kind of sucks moving though, doesn't it? But if it's moving into a better place, it's all worth it, right? Elaine Millard's in there. What's going on? Said hi, Chris and everyone. Greetings from Hilly, Northamptonshire. I'm sorry. England. Hope you are all well. Oh, we are. Yeah, it's pretty chilly here as well. Yeah, old Mother Nature, she's definitely jumping in there. Daniel Lee's in there. What's going on? He said hi, Chris. Hope you are good, man. I am good. Thank you, Daniel. I hope you're doing good as well. Dennis Bailey's in there. What's going on there, Mr. Jean Ward? Good to see you in there. Paul McCoon's in there. He said, hi, Chris. Been a while. I still watch on Catch Up. Keep up the stellar work. Well, I appreciate that, Paul. Leslie Warren's in there. What's going on, Leslie? Planetary Protector's in there. Hello, everyone. Douglas D's in there. He says, howdy, folks. Oh, let's see. Metalhead, what's going on? Good to see you there, man. Richard Bunt's in there. What's going on? Oops. I hate it when it does this. You literally just move it just a little bit. Everything just goes up the screen. Gotta love it. Now I gotta find it where I was at. Imagine that. Let me go back here just a little bit. All right, now we're back in the same spot we're supposed to be in. I think we're good now. Until it jumps again. Now, let's see what else we got here. No, let me see. So everybody's in here. I can see that so far. So welcome aboard as always. Of course, we are lacking one person, one researcher, and but she is with us in spirit. We know that. And Leslie, I was just reading your comment where you said Facebook has censored Sarah's work on my page. I keep sharing it. Have you seen? Has anyone else had it censored on their wall? Not that I heard of, but it wouldn't surprise me. You know, it's just either, you know, depending on where you're putting it, could very well be censored. So are you putting on, you said Facebook. It wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. Just keep doing it. That's the way I look at it. Which, incidentally, guys, I had another video. It was supposed to be out just before this Hangout. In other words, it probably should have been around, oh, God, what was it, mid-morning? And actually ran behind. So we actually tear apart the photos that Sarah and I were going back and forth with and break it down. Oh, my God. Guys, the stuff that's in these photos is unimaginable. Let's just put it that way. And it's just like any of the photos we see on the moon or anything like that. They've been manipulated. They've been censored in a big way. not only did we see it a little bit, but once I really got into these photos, oh my God, it's just like when you see it, you're just going to be like, wow. You know, again, we're not being told about our past. It's as simple as that. And I also have the full version of her thesis coming out over the weekend. Now, you might say, well, what do you mean a full thesis? You already had one out. Well, no, that one was prior to her adding more. And the reason why I did that at the time, and I like to use the expression as Julia did when she said, she thought it might be her last sunset. So I figured once she said it's completed, I said, okay. So what I did was I instantly made like a scrolling book of her work, but then she was able to still go on and still, with the help of Julia, thank God for that, that she actually put more on there for her, and she wanted to add more. So she did. So you guys have been to the site, and we're going to leave the link to that site as well. And so any of you guys want to record the whole thing, you'll be able to do that. Now, don't get me wrong. The full version is like, I think it's like an hour and 2 minutes longer. It's like 3 hours and 18 minutes. But if you think about it, what does a good-sized book take you to read? You know what I mean? So that's really peanuts compared to, actually watching, reading a book that's like, whatever. So I've done it myself. I've already taken it and put it on my hard drive. It's external. So it's not going anywhere as far as I'm concerned. And so it'll be good for you guys if you want to grab it. Again, I'm going to put it on probably on Sunday. Just go ahead and put it on. It's already uploaded. I'm just going to put a title in there. But that's what this is for, just to have you guys take it, basically archive it, spread it, do whatever you want with it, get the word out. That's basically what it comes down to. Nobody has done this work on this particular, on Antarctica, I should say. I mean, there's a lot of people out there doing it, but a lot of times they like to embellish and really come out with some really fantastic things, and I don't mean in a good way. Some really good research, and it's awesome. So that just helps, everybody's work. It helps each other, whoever's doing the work on it. So that's going to be coming out Sunday, and I'm going to have the video I was just trying to get out today will be out tomorrow, which I normally don't put out videos on the weekend, but I'm going to do that, get that one out for you where I literally pull these photos apart and show you these things. Oh, my God, guys. Like I said, again, I say this in the video. I said, remember before I was doing the Mars, and I decided to start doing the Moon. And I said the reason for that was that's where it all started. If we seen things on the moon that weren't ours, wasn't supposed to be on the moon, then and of course NASA and all these other space agencies are trying to hide that. If they're obfuscating, censoring, and we're not supposed to, so well, that's where it started. It started from the moon. So if they lied about what's on the moon, then they're going to lie about what's on, what Mars and anything else. But now it's even closer. It's at home, right? So now we're seeing some incredible things right here at home. So again, if they're suppressing our past, it just opens up a whole new world of, wow, we really don't know who we really are. At least the public doesn't. Now, maybe the elites and everything do, but we don't. But we're going to find out a whole lot more. And again, this is just to corroborate, Sarah's, thesis. And again, this is what we were going back and forth with until, basically her last days. So I feel privileged to be able to get this out, and everybody can grab this up, because on my computer here, I can grab any video from any site. I can just grab it, I can download it, and archive it, and anybody else here can do that. So that's why I want to put this out, so people can grab it themselves. Whether they repost it or archive it, it's totally up to you. The work is there. She wanted to get this out for everybody out there to see it. So I'm going to try to be as instrumental as I can to get it out. So again, video tomorrow coming out, and then her thesis on Sunday's coming out. It'll be coming out. So, guys, have a look. And like I said, it's the full version of whatever she's got on her site. It's actually now like in a scrolling book, as I like to call it. So keep your eyes open for that. Thank you, Mr. James Cragen. Thank you for your support. Always appreciate it. You said, Chris, I watched Sarah's video on the Antarctic, and man, oh man, it is top of the range work and research and totally different from the normal stuff. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the in-depth kind of work like that. I've heard stories, but as far as in-depth. And I think what puts a nail in the coffin for like NASA and people like that, because believe it or not, I'll give you 3 guesses where those photos come from. You know, if you look at the people she's documented in there, and some of them that helped get her these photos, or at least a couple of them, because a lot of them you can find online, we know that. But there's a couple, not so much. And you can see these people, these commanders, they work for NASA. So, gee, I'm surprised. Yeah. So, a lot of these, photos are just awesome. Excuse me. And I think what it comes down to is when you see what's really in these photos, it's just mind-blowing. And I love the soil analysis, because the soil analysis, like I said, puts a nail in their coffin, because it not only talks about how the soil samples showed a lot of metals which show industrialization, and it dates back to like 96,000 maybe plus years. You know what I mean? Boom, mind blown, because you weren't, you listen to the mainstream, intelligent man's not even that old, and yet 96,000 years ago? Remember we were talking about we're in the 5th cycle on Earth? Is it possible it's our stuff that she shows in a thesis, or is it something we built thousands of years ago? Give me a take on that, guys. What do you think? Mr. Nacho Libre's in the house. What's going on? It's good to see you in there. Dave Havery's in there. Oh, what you'll find, Dave, is that you said, I found it hard to follow Sarah's presentation so many times, size, colors, fonts, as would a lot of people with dyslexia, Chris. Can you provide a voiceover? Unfortunately, I can't. However, what I did do was I made this thing absolutely full screen, meaning right to the edge, where I didn't do that on the first one. So you guys will find this a little bit more legible. And like I said, the pictures go right to the very edge of the screen, so the words will also be bigger as well. So I'm hoping that'll be a big help to everyone. So, again, when you see it on Sunday, let me know what you guys think, right? Mr. Mike Knapp's in the house. What's going on? Dirk Dupree's, what's going on? He said, hi, watching Vietnam. Love your show. I appreciate that, Dirk. Waving a hand over there to you over there in Vietnam. Oops. I hate when this thing jumps like this. Adam's in there. What's going on, Adam? Phil C's in there. Oh, Phil, you must have had a problem with it. He said I had to restart YouTube. Good now. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it gets quirky. You guys know that. Goatheart, what's going on? You said, hello there, Chris and community. What's happening, Mr. Goatheart? Oh, Leslie, you are, and everybody else, I think, is. He said, I'm annoyed with Facebook, Chris, on YouTube. Has been so many views, but no views on Messenger or Facebook. I will keep posting it. Soil science is amazing. Yeah, I mean, that just basically tells all. And she says it in her thesis that she spent a little less than $11,000. And I don't know, it seems like she was present with these other people that were doing this. And, of course, they show a breakdown in that thesis, what what equipment was used, and, of course, the results. And so it's just awesome. And there's a couple of people in here that's actually weighed in on that, which are, I don't know if they're metallurgists or whatever they are, but very, very savvy in different metals and a different combination of metals that, they just said that basically the results are spot on. Let's just put it that way. So if that's true, then there's much more going on in Antarctica than just ice cap or just ice and snow, right? Yeah. See, a lot of people have, I guess a lot of people have a problem with that. They're like, there's no way, it's basically like a frozen tundra, blah, blah, blah. Maybe now, but before the Ice Age and before the ice formed there, it was not. And here's the thing. How many other civilizations we found all around the world that's either A, underwater, completely under mud, in Amazon jungles? The list goes on. And places that they didn't think there'd be anything, they're now finding something. The world was a different place back thousands upon thousands of years ago. Land masses that had ice didn't have ice back then. So it's not hard to fathom the idea of these structures being there. But these things are immense. And that's the key. And when you see these photos, oh my God, I will break these photos down for you and you're just going to be like, wow, that's insane. One, I show you that it's actually being censored. And two, I break it down and show you what's really in there. And of course, a lot of it's really hard to see because they really went to town on this thing. But You'll see in the video. Really, really cool stuff. What's going on there, Mr. Bush Corey? Good to see you. He said, hi there, Chris. Hi, gang. How's it hanging? Oh, a little right. We're to the right, and, we're good. Let's see. Renee Von Oosterhood, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Charlene Sampson, you said, I'm fascinated with Antarctica. Oh, you'll be even more. That's Charlene, I think it is. I'm sorry. I think it's a Charlie. I'm fascinated with it. Yeah, you'll be even more when you see this video comes out tomorrow. It'll be around tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to guess roughly 2 o'clock, give or take, Eastern time. So I got to finish it up. It's around I'm thinking it's like 35, 40-minute long video, guys. And it started off at like 54 minutes. But there's some garbage in there. You got to edit it out. And you just didn't find it pertinent, But the way I got it set up now, yeah, it's going to look pretty good. And the whole idea of it is to, basically get right to it and show all the stuff that's actually in this photo. And I want to say a big thank you to the thumbs down. Always appreciated. Thank you very much. Nothing but love for you. So, let's see. Equalizer says, I'm in the house. Yes, you are. What's going on, brother? Yeah, Charlene, I figured you'd like that. Bush Corey said, hey, Chris, sort of the same question. Them huge structures on BK side on the moon, the backside, you meant. You think they were put deliberately on backside just so we don't see them? And did we put them there, or was it ET? That's a great question. There's no way of knowing this. We can always, we can only speculate. But it depends on how long they've been there, right? Think about it. So, if it's been like X amount of years, then good chance, somebody else put it there. Now, if you want to call it alien, I would say alien or other beings. And to me, it's got to be other beings. Only, unless, of course, again, we go back to like the kind of same, what's the word I want to use? Kind of like the same time frame as Antarctica. If this goes back 96,000 years ago, and if it was, in fact, us, and we were, intelligent way back then, meaning intelligent man, and technologically advanced back then on the first cycle, then it would stand to reason maybe we actually went to the moon. Of course, pure speculation. And the other thing is, too, if it's not, and let's say, we don't even know if these structures on Antarctica were built by man themselves. We have no idea. Even in Sarah's thesis, she says right out that we are not the only people that have ever been on this planet. And I tend to agree with her. When you see these things really, really good now, she shows it great in the thesis. I mean, you can see it. I've helped her darken up a lot of those areas and bring out a lot of, those structures to make it more pronounced, to pop. And she had a great eye for this. And like I said, I'm with you guys in this. I'm going to miss her to death, man. It just kills me, that she's not here. But I know she's with us in spirit, so that's awesome. But, it's the cool thing about it is, like I said, she had a great eye for this. And, when you see the stuff that I pull out of it definitely corroborates everything she's been saying. There's no doubt in my mind. And I wish she was around to see the actual end result, because we were actually working towards that, until the very end. So it kind of breaks my heart that she can't see the whole thing. But, again, she's with us all anyway, right? So, guys, stay tuned for that one tomorrow. It's just awesome. But like I said, to answer your question, Dave, where does this thing go? I'm sorry, Bush Corey, you said. Again, a lot of people, well, there was one guy, well, there's actually a couple of people who said, well, what did he say? Something along the lines of, why would they put him on the backside? The backside of the moon gets whacked with a lot of, meteors and stuff like that. Okay. So does in the face facing us. If you ever seen that, if you actually watch that, you can literally see him slam into this thing or bounce off the darn lunar surface. Now, maybe back in the day when we were in a different part of the universe, you know what I mean? Think about it. If we were in a different part of space itself, maybe that's when it got bombarded. Think about that. And it doesn't get bombarded as much as it did back in the thousands of years ago. Right? Just ideas to kick around. Again, we can only speculate as to what's up there and how long it's been there and if it's ours or not. Dave, you said, cheers, Chris. Sarah's work is to be important. We have to get the word out. People need to realize that the moon, Mars, and Antarctica are all linked to our actual human history. I totally agree with you. And like I said, I don't know. It's kind of like, again, it's like mankind is learning. Of course, we're a little behind the curve. Like the elites know all this, and this is the reason why they're so ahead of this. In other words, let's say they've seen the stuff here in Antarctica first, and then they've seen the moon. Or they didn't see what's in Antarctica, and they decided, because this goes way back when they started going to Antarctica, right? Just, what could be on there? They just went there for whatever reason and seen something. Maybe it was an orbiter that was orbiting Earth to begin with, and they seen something on Antarctica and said, whoa, hold on. Kind of like the same thing they did about the moon. What's that on the moon? It doesn't look like it belongs there. So, they decided to go. Well, it's no different. They make an expedition to go to Antarctica, find some crazy stuff. Then the sun is now, well, I've called it the sun, if you will, but, whether it's global warming, whatever it may be, the ice and snow is receding. It's literally disappearing off certain parts of Antarctica, and now these things are becoming more and more visible. And like I said, when you see this video I did, oh my God, you're going to be like, I never thought I'd see this stuff that I saw in here. And there's one thing that sticks out. You guys are going to go, yeah, there's no way that belongs there. There's so many things. When I first show you the small thing, and all that, anyway, I won't tease you guys anymore about it. But it's just really interesting. Even I was mind blown after going through this thing. Douglas D. said Antarctica got turned into an ice cube after the last pole shift, is what I believe. And the little evidence we have shows. Again, there's a lot more evidence now. So, yeah. But, and I got to agree with you. At some point, you get the pole shifts that happen, and we all know this has happened in the past. So, what was green and lush and had plants and trees and everything else, it was overcome by just ice. It froze, and of course, pretty much all the plant life died. But even then, like in her thesis, she talks about like this microbial life, even in this frozen tundra kind of areas, or the frozen areas in Antarctica. Wait a minute. So, yeah, ungodly winds at times, talks about the temperatures. And the more you read about Antarctica, it's just like the thesis makes more and more sense. Gary I'm sorry. Where did you go? It just jumped on me. Here we go. Jerry McDonald, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Alien Tenno's in the house. What's going on, Alien Tenno? Jerry, you said, hi, Chris. Hey, community. Nacho, you said, why would the moon take more hits than Earth? I don't think it does. But it might not have the same atmosphere to burn up whatever comes toward it. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the moon doesn't, right? But like I said, maybe when our solar system was in a different part of the universe, the galaxy, that it got hit a whole lot more in the position that it was at. And this is the reason why we had strikes here on Earth. Obviously, if they're really large, they'll burn up to a certain degree, but you'll still have something come and hit the Earth, depending on how big it is. So, like the big one back in 65 million years ago. So, again, we don't even know. I mean, it looks like it's battered on the back side of the moon, but this might have happened somewhere else and not where it's at now. Now, I'm sure it still takes hits because it's still rocks, hurling through space, right? But did this happen thousands of years before in a different area? What do you guys think? Blue Sunset, what's going on? You said Earth is 4.5 billion years. Consider that. Yeah, we're not the first. Maybe life has evolved and extinguished multiple times. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, the ancients say that we're in actual cycles and that we're in the fifth cycle. So when was the first? How many thousands of years does that go back? That's what we got to understand. And that's something just to contemplate because you go, okay, first cycle, was that thousands upon thousands of years ago? Almost a million years ago? We don't know. Because like I said, remember when I said man was only so, they called intelligent man only, so many thousands of years ago. Now they're going back to, 250,000, 500,000 years ago, so on and so forth. It's going on and on and on and on. It's being set back more and more as we go. Again, we're just like infants learning how to walk, and we're just learning our neighborhood. We're still discovering things here on Earth. And now, like I said, while there's things going on in space, and they're trying to keep everybody, busy with viruses and wars and everything else behind the scenes, they're doing all these little things behind the scenes, different space things and all this other stuff. And I had forgotten about the Chang'e 5. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but basically the spacecraft was just supposed to go to the moon, and it was supposed to grab a soil sample, and it's heading back. How much did you guys hear about that? Now, I heard that it was the plan, but I didn't know they had already put it in motion. You know what I mean? Because I've been preoccupied with a lot of other things lately, with Antarctica and stuff like that, and beloved friend Sarah. So, yeah, I mean, it's amazing how a lot of this stuff is now coming out, and I think it's just awesome. Again, we're learning about our civilization, or was it ours? That's the whole key. A lot of questions need to be answered. Let's just put it that way. Charlene Sampson, you said that we the people are waking up. Absolutely are. Oh, thank you, Julie. I didn't even know you were in there. Thank you very much for your support. Always appreciate it. And all your other support. And I give you some love in that video I just made. It'll be out tomorrow. For all that you've done for Sarah, and being instrumental on getting her work out. A lot of people are asking for different pictures about her work. So thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. And I'm sure everybody here can attest to that it's been awesome that you've been helping out. Like I said, you being a great BFF that you were to her. And like I said, just instrumental in so many ways. So we appreciate you. Just can't say it enough. And Julia, she says, I would like to take a minute to thank you all for your kindness and generous words, and lovely comments. You are all so awesome, and Sarah loved you all. Oh, yeah, the feeling was mutual. And much love to you, Julia. I mean, seriously, you're now like a part of the community. Well, now she's going to go, oh, no, I got to feel like I got to be here. No, I'm just kidding. But there's nothing wrong with that. I think it was you that said something profound, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but there was one of the comments I think you said, and I couldn't find it after, so maybe it wasn't you, but you said something about when she passed on, maybe she went to another planet, like she had graduated. Think about how profound that sounds. You're here, a lot of people call this planet hell, prison planet, so on and so forth, and it's almost like they get selected for who they were, and you get graduated up to another place, maybe another I don't know if I want to use the term realm, but a different state of consciousness or a different planet altogether. And I was just like, boom, that just stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, man, that is like profound, man. I mean, it might have just sounded like a sentence when you were typing it out, but when you really think about it, you go, that's interesting. That is just neat. I can tell you, where does this thing go? I was just trying to get this thing back and it just jumped on me. What did you say here? Man, I hate when this thing does this. See if I can find it again. See if I can't find it. Anyway, he said, I hope she doesn't mind being called Sarah, S-A-R-A, as opposed to S-A-R-A-H. Yeah, I don't think she'll mind. I used to call her that all the time. I would say it on the live feed. She was just great being here and always answered everybody's questions and stuff like that, and always talked just highly of everybody here. Josh D's getting back to you, Julia, saying thank you for your kindness to my sweet lady. You consoled me to the end, I guess it was. Let me see. Oh, there it was. Okay. It's okay with us referring to it as. Yeah. It's a habit. Smart Steve 68. You said, well, I'd say that the cratering and smoother surface look on Earth facing the side of the moon would suggest that there used to be it used to rotate faster in the past before becoming tidally locked. Yeah, again, even if it did not, let's say it just stayed locked the way it is now, well, that would make more sense. Think about it. It's like, again, put us in a different universe, part of the universe, and it's just like, boom. I mean, we don't know what happened there. If there was a bombardment of meteors or large bodies coming from space and just slam it all at once, or it happened over millions of years, right? Oh, thank you again, Julia. I do appreciate you. You're awesome. Like I said, what is this other one here? Hold on. This thing just jumped on me. Charlene Sampson, thank you very much for your support as well. It was funny, I just seen the face up there. I was like, what is that little thing? Because it's hard to see on the screen until you actually get right to the actual comment section. But thank you very much for all your support, and as well as Julia. And like I said, your support is just, it's just awesome, because there's just so many ways to support, right? Whether it's helping people out, just simple kindness, help them get Sarah's workout, just everything all together. It's just awesome. And everybody here, I know she'd tell me all the time in email saying, Chris, your subs are just amazing. Give them my love and everything else. And because the way everybody treated her with kindness. So, you know what I mean? It's a two-way street. And so it meant a lot to her. So that's awesome. Larry, Aaliyah, you said, everyone have a great evening. I got to go. Sorry, it's my ADD. Okay. All right, Larry, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. Let me see. Matthew Edgewood, you said, hello, my fellow Martians. What's going on, Matthew? Good to see you in there. Rob Eberhard, you said had to take a quick shower. I miss anything? No, we're just kind of talking about, the support of the channel. And, like I said, there's many ways to support a channel. Whether it's, just simple kindness, talking back and forth with each other, supporting each other's work. And we're just giving thanks to Julia for supporting everything, trying to get Sarah's work out about Antarctica and stuff like that. She's been very instrumental in that. And, of course, being her best friend, was there right to the end with her. So that was awesome. And they kept me, up to date. Everything was going on. And they were just super right to the end with her. So it really made you feel good when you just heard the way they talked, Archetype Matt, you said, hey, Chris, have you watched any of the videos on Mars XT3? Yeah, Dave's a good friend of mine. He's got a lot of good stuff there. And hopefully we'll have him on soon. And, by the way, guys, I'll probably be on with, I got to see, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm going to be on with Jimmy again tomorrow. It'll be right around, I believe, it's 1 o'clock Eastern time. It should be Eastern time, 1 o'clock, because it's 12 o'clock his time, being in Texas. So, I'll be on with him, and I don't know what he's going to share. I'll get together with him in the morning time, and we'll get together, see what's up. So that'll be cool, too. If everything goes right, if I'm overworking, I told myself, I don't know, I work on Saturdays. Let's just see how that plays out. It could be a real busy day and won't be able to make it. So usually I can get out around noonish. We'll have to see, right? Mike Knapp says, be back soon. All right, brother. Dave Havery said, Chris, I don't believe in heaven or hell. I believe death is not the end. Our energy becomes free. I believe Sarah's energy is free and helping to change us all. And, I totally agree with you, Dave. I've always said that. I said, I think it's more, because we're basically energy, right? So once your avatar, your body ceases to exist, that you go out into basically out your energy. You just go outward. Now, again, saying, maybe she was like basically went up to a higher level, went to another planet. Maybe it's like a, so what do I want to use? Like a utopia kind of thing, like a more just nicer planet, right? Who knows? Pure speculation, but I think it's interesting that, because I'm the same way. I don't believe in that crap either. I never have. In fact, I got kicked out of, I think it was Catholic school back in the day when I was a kid. I'd ask questions, real questions, not trying to be a smart ass. I'd say, can you tell me what this is? Can you tell me what that is and what that means in the Bible? And I got thrown out of class because I was asking questions. But regardless, that's a whole different story. But to me, I don't think we actually die, the soul actually dies. I think we're just energy. And we just go back out into space and, return to, what we were before, we became into this avatar body, right? And, of course, other people have their other opinions and what they feel is, they feel is the right thing or the way they view it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Custom Tailored One, what's going on? Good to see you in there, man. Phil says, I almost forgot to hit the like button. Yeah, there's a few of these I think have. There's 113 watching now and like 79 thumbs up. Guys, if you don't mind, go ahead and slam that boom thumbs up. Much appreciated, as always. Yeah, Pete, I seen that. That Jimmy had done that. He put it on his, I think it was his community page. And he actually, which was really awesome of him. Because he was a really good friend to Sarah as well. She considered him like her crazy brother, I think she put it. So it was just awesome that she communicated quite a bit with him as well. He's just a good man. I can't say enough about him either. He's genuine. And we both had the same, and believe it or not, we're both the same age. I thought he was actually younger than me. But the funny thing about it is that when we talked and everything, I said, we both had the both same mindset. In other words, we looked after her like she was actually family and not, just, ooh, some pretty girl, like some people react to seeing a girl. And I've always respected her. I never, looked at it like in a weird way. You know what I'm saying? And she actually thanked me for that, which I was blown away. I was like, she said, thanks for, looking at me as a fellow person in research instead of checking out my rear end. I was like, what? I said, it's never entered my mind. I was just like, I never looked at it that way. Again, she was like a daughter to me. So I was like, yeah, that would be kind of creepy. But just, so he got along just as good with her. And we did nothing but support her. And she's done the same for us. In fact, she used to say, I'm going to, get your workout. I'm going to do this for you guys. And, I couldn't thank her enough. I mean, and like I said, she was just a great, human being altogether, Noodles, you said I have 5 or so emails direct from Sarah. Julia Galley said, but we didn't talk about 9/11. I think she said she's got something coming out, paper on that. And if so, we'll definitely bring that out too. Of course, you know how that is. I might actually get a strike for that. But one way or the other, we'll try to get it out because I think that kind of stuff has to come out. There was, I guess it was just shy, or right around 4,000 people that lost their lives because, and basically it's because of the government. Basically it comes down to this was done here. This was right here in the United States it was done. Regardless of what people want to believe, when you do the math and add this all up, it's crap. Back in the day, I remember I was pirating. Oop, you didn't hear me say that. This goes back many years. Where I had Bell Express View, which is a Canadian satellite TV, and I had Dish Network. And basically it was my friend's satellite, but we'd watch it and kick it together and stuff like that. But and I remember him saying, of course, this goes back, we had VHS. So, because they were still out there back then. So I have like 4 VHS tapes, and all of this, what I would do is go to channels around the United States and actually take, listen to like their newscast for like good 15, 20 minutes, how they're talking about it, how they seen it, their opinions about it. And I would do like, I don't know how many states I did. And I got like, each tape was like 3 hours long. And then I put them onto DVD. So, it's trash. And the whole idea, keep people in fear so that you stay, government protect us, please help us. They're the people that's doing it to you. And if people don't believe that, go back and think, it was back in the 1950s where they tried out this like a small version of like germ warfare. In one of the New York subways, it killed, I don't know how many people. If you've ever seen the subways in New York, you know what I mean. It killed umpteen people. Probably a good couple hundred people in there. Oh, well, I guess it works. These are the same, these people will do this to you. This is not, people don't want to believe that sometimes. They just go, I don't believe that's true. Well, listen, you don't have to. I'm not here to jam it down your throat. I'm here to tell you that that's what I believe. And if you've done more research, you'd understand. What was it, 9/11 in plain sight? Plane. If you look that up, how he talks about the fuselage is an explosion long before the fuselage even hits the building. Think about it. Just so many things. You just get into this. I mean, we can go on and on about this, and it's just, wow. Absolutely crazy. This is our own government, guys. And if people go, our government wouldn't do that, you better think again. Again, just think about how they're lying about what we're seeing on the moon, what we're seeing on our own planet, suppressing our origins, and anything about our past or somebody else's past on our planet. Come on. I mean, it's just crazy. So is it hard to believe that they wouldn't do that kind of crap to you? Oops. Damn it, I hate when the thing does this. What's going on there, Kyle Harvey? Good to see you there, man. You said, good here, except the COVID crap. Well, I hear you on that. That's what it comes down to, Mimi. It's all about keeping people in the fear. People are going, government protect us. Look what's happening around the world. They're trying to kill us. It's not the case. It's your own government doing it to you. Now, has there been attacks in the past? Sure. It's not uncommon. Or attempted attacks? Sure. But that one, no. I appreciate it, Miss Hayward. You said, Chris, I can't donate to you on the Hangout. My payment option, the one is not configured. Okay, that's fine. I appreciate you one way or the other, Miss Hayward. You know that. Bill S307 1996 is the setup. Noodles, you're right. Like I said, just, and when, I'll actually have conversations about all kinds of things. It's not just about, maybe 9/11. It's about anything to do with, some people, you tell them about what's on the moon or show them pictures and they go, what the hell is that? In other words, they don't know what it is, but they go, wait a minute. When you think moon, you don't think you'd see that kind of thing on the moon. So people react to it in a weird way, whether they know what it is or not. They're smart enough to know, okay, that doesn't look like it belongs there, right? So, again, just research yourselves. You'll believe your own eyes and your own ears if you get the proper research, right? I'll keep taking out. Oh, crap. And then we go down another rabbit hole. Oh, yeah. And that one goes real deep. Charlene Sampson, you said we are 100 years behind in technology. I heard even more than that. And let's call it 100 years, just for argument's sake. Again, I've said this before. You look at your watch, your little Fitbits, your little, iWatches and stuff like that, for your iPhones and all that. And you think back, you go, okay, just in the 1980s, we still had cassette tapes and, still even had 8-track tapes. I mean, I remember the first video disc. People go, oh, wow, DVDs, these are awesome. No. Those were back in the 70s, except they were this big, like a 33 album or record. My uncle had one. They were huge. Put them into a giant player. You can watch movies digitally. course, they were a little bit more primitive than a regular DVD player or, Blu-ray. But regardless of the fact, even back then we had crazy technology. I remember seeing a TV that was on it was like almost like a Dick Tracy watch, but it was an actual TV, but the audio and everything came from, it plugged in there, and you had like another little, something that was on a belt clip. It was the rest of the actual TV, so to speak, whether it be audio and everything else. So that was back in the 80s. Like they call it surface mount components now, SMCs, which made things, they can really push things way down in size. So, like I said, it's just, if we're jumping leaps and bounds with technology, and they were already ahead of us in technology, what do you think they're at now? Where do you think you're going to be in 100 years? Let's say you could stay alive. Where would you be in technology 100 years from now? I mean, things are like accelerating so quickly. How do we know? What are we going to be like in 100 years, this planet? Some people go dead. But I mean, as far as like technologically advanced, if we don't kill each other off by then, we'll be like so much further. It's just crazy. George Meary said, hi all, Chris, late again. Don't worry about it. George, I'm glad to have you here, man. Good to see you in there. Paul Cargo, I was just talking about that. He said Chinese Chang'e 5 now on lunar surface and will bring back samples, still only a handful of images from Chang'e 4. And I said that. It's like they give people, okay, we are there. Okay, that's the end of it. You don't hear any more about it. And like I said, I jumped all over the photos when the Chang'e 4 showed the photos of the moon. Oh, my God. Talk about a complete annihilation of a photo. Completely redacted of information. Oh, sad. Oh, my God. It was, they basically mutilated the picture. Other than having their little lander there and stuff like that. Nah. And why would they feel the need, guys, to go to the moon just to grab a soil sample? Haven't we already done this? Back in the late 60s, early 70s, I'm almost positive we did that with human hands. But wait a minute. This part of the moon's a little different. It's about next to the South Pole. Okay, and I get that it may vary depending on different rocks. I don't think they're going there for that crap at all, guys. I just don't think so. I think it's much more than that. Because keep in mind, they can go up there with the lander, and you can almost, and I haven't really, I'll be truthful with you guys, I haven't really examined that lander, but you can bet it's got cameras, high definition, taking pictures, and if it's going to come back, they can take ungodly photos. They can send up a 4K camera up that thing, take all kinds of photos, grab that soil, the PR move, grab the soil, come back. We don't know. Again, pure speculation because I can't confirm that. But why would they stop at just, we're just going to grab a little sample? If it's coming back, they don't have to worry about transmitting anything back. Take digital photos and like 8K if they want to, and it's going to come back. And as long as it's sealed and it's not going to get, no radiation is going to disrupt the memory in that camera, they'll have some smoking pictures from there. And yet you'll never see one of them. You'll never see one good photo up there. Thank you, Mr. Kyle Harvey. I appreciate your support, man. You know that. Much love to you. Julia, you're too kind. Thank you very much for your support. You said from Miss Heard. I do appreciate you. Again, too kind. That's just awesome. What's going on, Mr. Dr. Z. Smith? Good to see you in there. Wiggy Seagull, what's going on? He said, I remember them all. Oh, yeah. Adam, your question was, Chris, with 9/11, I've just always wondered how does all of the floors on both buildings collapse simultaneously? Just about every engineer say it's impossible. Well, they say it's impossible unless, of course, you're a demolition guy. Then it's no longer impossible. And you can actually hear these officers. I've got it on there. In fact, the book I bought, they had the actual DVD in it, and they were talking about how there was police officers and firemen standing there and said, oh, yeah, I don't know how many times they said it sounded like a controlled demolition. And that's exactly what it was. It's exactly what it was. High grade gaming. Good question. Hiya, buddy. Will you be alive when we get told? It depends on when we get told. Probably not. But the good thing about it is that I love the idea that people are jumping on board with this and they're running with it. Because like I said, nobody says nothing's guaranteed tomorrow. We have no guarantees. So I love the idea of people grabbing this stuff, doing the research. You guys are awesome. You guys have been doing a lot of this yourselves, and grab it and run with it, man. It's important. It's important to mankind. Some people go, who gives a crap? I do. I want to know basically where I stand in life. Is it just the same old ho-hum? Think back when you were in high school, guys. Did you ever think of that? I mean, probably not, but you just read out of the textbooks, about Egypt. Never thought nothing of it. Look what they found in Egypt. Below the Sphinx, below the pyramids, everywhere, hidden Mayan structures in the jungles. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Good Lord, man. It's like, and now you've learned so much more. Go back to when you were back in high school. Oh, my God. You could have taught the teacher a little something. Think about that. Somebody's calling me. I don't know that number. They can talk to the voicemail. Let's see. Mimi Reacts, she said, I hope in 100 years they have found a cure against cancer. I can almost promise you they have. I guarantee it. Again, I've said this before. Again, we've got any kind of disease that would kill people. Well, we had AIDS back in the 80s that blew up like there's no tomorrow. And, of course, you got all of these other viruses, whether it be flus, whatever it may be. You got cancer. It takes how many lives a year? How many lives? Again, AIDS. Now, we do have Band-Aids for, like, AIDS now. But funny enough, we got nothing for cancer. Now, if you catch it quick enough, you're good. And even then, it's not promised. My uncle went through that. He actually got it. And you guys, if you've seen him or knew him, he's a stand-up guy. He used to put on a lot of, it was like he'd put a lot of these shows together for like handicapped people. So, if there was something going on in Texas or somewhere going on in the United States, he would set all that up, and he'd have entertainment set up to go there for them as well. They had all kinds of like fundraisers and everything else. The fundraisers, so anybody who wanted to donate to that, they could do that. And, my cousin, which is his dad, we'd go out and we'd do the collections. Anybody who wanted to do that, we'd have to drive like umpteen miles away to go do that. So it was great that he would do the work he did. And like I said, they said, well, you got 2 years to live after he's been through all the chemo and all that other good stuff. And 6 months later, dead and gone. So, I don't believe in a lot of that stuff. I think it's just, it just happens. I guess they say that the cancer gene is always in your body and it just releases for whatever reason, gets triggered, whatever reason it is. And so whatever it is, it should be cured. And yet they don't do it. And guys, for all the research they've been doing for how many years now, and they haven't found the cure? Come on. I find that hard to believe. I don't believe that for a moment. I don't think anybody else does either. Alpine Observer, you're a very intelligent guy. What is your day job? What if I told you, you'd probably laugh. But anyway, I work in a stock crew for a large grocery chain. I order all the stuff in the stores and stuff like that. But prior to that, I'm basically a nerd. Let's see. I'm into radio. I was into free-to-air satellite when it was going strong, both C-band and KU band. Like I said, I used to talk all around the world with about 1,000 watts. Talking over the big pond was no big deal. Basically, just a tech nut. And I was into all of that. And doing a lot of reading and researching about Mars, the moon, and up to present day. So, I'd say I'm pretty well-rounded, I've got a little knowledge, Am I the smartest guy on the planet? Nope. But got a little bit to get me by, Rick C. said, correct, Chris, but then those same persons who see for the first time the picture of the moon anomalies, they taken back, then they fall into their idle mode. They simply don't care to look beyond. Yeah, I mean, which is really astonishing because you think they would go, man, that's just so interesting. I'm going to keep looking into this stuff. I'm going to keep looking into it. I think it's fantastic. I don't know why. They just, they're happy with their whole hum lives. I don't care if you're a rich person or, a poor person. I don't care what you are. Don't you want to know more? Don't you want to gather more information about your life and about what's going on this planet? Nothing? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I watch TV and I watch very little of it. If you to say, because they call it so many hours that people watch TV, and let's say 100% of those hours, I probably watch 10% of it if I'm lucky. Maybe once in a while I'll put on a movie. I'll just go online and watch a movie. But that's it. Other than that, I don't care. I really don't. Negativity is not the way to go, although there is a bunch of it around us. But I try not to get into all that, Yeah, Miss Hill, is she awesome? She's awesome. I wish you can give her a hug, too. Charlene Sampson said, don't take the vax. Nope, I'm good. I don't know. How many of you guys would actually do that? Now, and I don't think you're a bad person, whether you do or don't. When they come out with the vaccine, how many people are taking it? Yeah, yes or no? Me personally, I won't. That doesn't mean nobody else should. You take it because you believe you need it, you should take it. I don't because I don't know what's in it. They can claim it's this, that, and the other. I don't care. I don't want it. And somebody had commented in the comment section of the video saying, we don't even know there's a cancer-causing agent in that. And it just slowly works on you, just triggers it. And over the course of years, more and more people start getting it. And of course, if it's in your genes, let's say you get it in your, I don't know, I'm going to say a 30-year-old woman, okay? You get the vaccine. Well, now it's in your body. Okay. So now you have kids. Now it's in their genes. So now, let's say you weren't even predisposed to even have any kind of cancer in your life, but now you are. And of course, it's all hypothetical and it's all speculation. But let's suppose it's not just you now; it's your kids' kids, because now it's in their genes. So now it works in a level in your body that's microbial, so to speak, and it's in your genes now. So now, again, maybe your family never had any family members that had cancer, but now you are the first one because of it. If that's what's going on, if that's what's happening. So now you get it. Oh, wait a minute. Later on in life, you've got cancer. Well, you've also had children along the way. You've had 3 or 4 kids, maybe 2 boys, 2 girls. Well, now those boys are going to be, basically going to almost have it. If the mom and dad did, there you go. It just rolls and rolls and rolls. Let me see you guys going back and forth here. Kyle, you do too, man. You said you guys rock. Gary, 420, what's going on? You said, hey, good day, Chris. What's going on, Gary? Good to have you in there. Oops. They just jumped on me. Renee, it's extraterrestrial alien DNA vaccine. Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, as far as, anything, they could put anything in this and you would know it. You would not know it. Absolutely, Blue Sunset. You said our diseases are keeping Big Pharma rich. They won't kill the goose that lays the golden eggs, and you couldn't be more spot on. Absolutely. And New Chaotic Order, you said the vaccine is rushed, and it could alter genes or DNA. Who knows? Could mess up future babies. Exactly. That's what I said. It's not just one generation. It's generation after generation after generation. Yeah. They said it may be mandatory. If they said to me tomorrow, hey, you know what, if you don't take it, you're no longer employed. Well, good working for you. Good to see you. I'll be doing videos 24/7. Yeah, I won't take it. I'm good. Dr. Z. Smith, group hug. Douglas D., just breathe and jump in some ice cold water for 5 minutes every day and you'll be great. Or become a humansicle. Whichever. Yeah, Charlene, you said positive energy rules. Absolutely. Now, don't get me wrong. You got negatives all around you, whether it be people, the situations, whatever it is. Just try to stay away from them, man. It's just all there is to it, you know? That's all you can do. Tony Gibbs, you said no need for the vaccine here. Exactly. Oh, Julia, yeah, like I said, you're too kind to see. See you, everyone, and thank you for everything. You know, basically hugs and kisses. Julia, well, thank you, and stay in touch. I know you said you were over there talking to Pete. You sound like a really great guy. And he had actually invited me to go up there. He said, come on up anytime, man. I'm just north of Michigan, into the Canadian border. Just come on up anytime. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But, stay in touch. And thank you very much for your support, as always. And I don't know if you caught it, Julia, that I do have a video coming out. And I do have the full version of what she's got on her site now. It's not the one that I had out prior. So anybody who wants to catch it and keep it as an archive, you can pass it on if you like. I'm going to probably have it on Sunday afternoon or morning. I might just throw it on in the morning. So video coming out tomorrow, ripping apart those photos that Sarah and I were talking about. And then I'm going to have the full version of her thesis out that she has on the site now with obviously the link to hers if anybody wants to check it out. And it is, like I said, it's much bigger. It fills the whole screen, so the words will be bigger. But guys, I encourage everybody to watch on something bigger. If you got a phone and it's not working for you, that's fine. Cast it onto your TV. A lot of TVs now, you can cast them. Cast it right onto the TV. You can watch it much bigger, and it's a lot better. But I figured people are watching it a lot on like tablets and phones, so I made sure it was absolute, as far as I can go with the screen, his width on the photos, and of course all the text are now bigger as well. So just keep an eye out for both of those videos on this weekend. Kyle, what are you talking about? He said, no, I'm really jealous because everyone can send it super chat but me. What do you mean by that? I don't know if you mean like a donation thing, but you've always done that. You've done that in the past. Thank you, Architect, for your support, man. I do appreciate you. You're awesome, like all you guys here. Just incredible. James Cragen, you said, Chris, I work for a pharmaceutical company. We make medicines and carcinogenic diseases. Well, I'm sorry, for carcinogenic diseases and melanoma, plasma cells. That is the equivalent of human rust. And I can tell you, many a cure was found in research. Oh, I can promise you they have. Absolutely. And it doesn't surprise me. So why are they suppressing this and not releasing it? They don't want to. Like we were just talking about earlier, pharmaceutical companies are making big money. Cancer is big business, guys. So isn't, AIDS and any other disease that's crippling, whatever it may be. That's what it's all about. It's basically saying, let's cut down the population, and that's what it comes down to. They don't want to see an explosion of a population because it'll basically eat up all the resources and so on and so forth. So they don't want to do that. Smart Steve 68, he said, I'll starve. Won't get the vax. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll stay home. I'll just make videos. In fact, I can make more here at making videos than I can make at my job. How sad is that? But if that be, I don't know how many of you guys said, hey Chris, we'd love to fund you if you could just be here 24/7. I'd love to be able to do this all the time, But you got to have your regular job. It's more consistent, so to speak, and because now YouTube's messing with us in a big way, and you're not putting us on the suggested videos on the right-hand side on YouTube anymore. What is his name there? Oh, man. Praveen Mohan. You guys have heard what he was saying, right? They're doing it again to him. They're literally censoring him now. They're cutting down his... They're just messing with his channel big time. Check him out. And if you guys haven't seen that, check it out. Kyle, figured it out, huh? I appreciate you, man. Thanks for your support, brother. You're awesome. I like that little... Is that supposed to be a pear? What is that? A little flying guy with a pear or something? That's cool. Again, thanks for your support, guys. Appreciate you. All right, Mike, good to see you there. Mike Knapp, you said time for bed for me. See you all later. Have a good weekend. Well, I appreciate you being here, Mike. Thanks for being here, brother. You have yourself a good weekend there, right? Charlene Sampson, you said water-soluble vitamin C and B. You can take all you want, not toxic. No, because you just get certain levels of it. You just basically urinate it out. So he said good for the immune system. Absolutely. But they do say taking D3, if you're afraid of the COVID, you can take D3. That will basically stave it off, so to speak. So, yeah. So you definitely want to do that. And I take D3 every day. So I've always been doing that, so it's not a big deal. Blue Flash, you said there's no proof that anyone took the vaccine. Well, that's true. But I know, they always show pictures of people getting it and stuff like that. So, but I don't know, man. I mean, how many times is like a drug come out on the market and now you got every lawyer in the company wanting to sue the ass off of them because, it's caused cancer in many people. They don't bother to check. And, of course, we're none the wiser. We just believe everything the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies tell us. Oh, well, that's got to be for me. It'll help me. And what happens? It makes you worse or basically kills you. Yeah. That's why I try to stay away from as many medications as I can. Oh, that was nice again. Man, Julia, she's a saint, I swear to God. Let me see here. She said for Kyle Harvey. That's just awesome. Again, Julia, thank you very much. John Sharp, again, thank you as well. I do appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate everybody here for their support. You guys are awesome. And like I said, by the way, next week I'm going to have a little something for everybody too. So stay tuned. You're going to want to stay tuned. We won't make it that long next week, so nobody has to hang on that long. But right around almost near the end of it, I'm going to drop something on you guys. So make sure you guys are there. We'll see what happens. We're just going to play it by ear, but we'll see what happens. Amazing Space Music says, greetings from Finland. I like the Gigapan pics. Oh, yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, we're going to be getting back to those as well. Good stuff as well. Just cool stuff. And a lot of people have been doing a lot of those, been putting those together, so we'll definitely be doing more of those. Equalize, he said D3, 2,000 milligrams. Mine, I think, is... No, mine's 1,000, which is good, Bruce Meow, you said there is proof. He said, I take the flu vaccine since being deployed to Iraq in 2003, not getting the flu since, but I will not take COVID vaccines. I do not wear a mask. I mean, like I said, I always encourage people to wear them. I wear them every day because I'm around the public. Now, do I like wearing them? No. I wish life would get back to some kind of normalcy. I do it because I care about the people on the side of me. You know what I mean? The last thing I want to do is see something happen to them. It'd be my luck. I'd be the carrier and give it to some other people, and something would happen to them. I don't want to be the one guilty of that. Not that I would know that, but I do it just, why not? It just helps. And thank you very much for your service, by the way, Bruce. I do appreciate you. But I mean, I haven't had the flu shot I think when I was a child, and that was it. Haven't had the flu. So you can take vitamin C as a support 1,000 milligrams of that a day and support your immune system. You won't have that issue either. But that's just me, James Craig, thank you very much for your support, brother. I do appreciate you. Said, Chris, I heard that the Chinese haven't recently landed something. I heard that the Chinese have recently landed something. Yeah, it was the Chang'e 5 or Chang'e 5 on the backside of the moon. Do you know anything about that, man? Great night also, man. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I heard about that, but I didn't realize that it already had taken place, that this lander has and I think it's already on the moon, grabbing soil samples and heading back. But again, it's coming back. So they don't have to relay any photos back to Earth. So they can literally go up there with an 8K camera and take ungodly photos of whatever they want to take. Think about it. Now, I don't know for sure. I haven't really checked out this lander and see what it's equipped with. But just about every lander that's ever been on the moon had a camera. So why would they stop today? So even if it's a very small lander, it doesn't matter, right? Camera doesn't take much space. All they're doing is it's a digital camera. I mean, you can take an 8K with that and have the most ultimate camera you can send up there. And with the technology we got, it'd be absolutely pristine. So if they went up there to see something that's on the moon, it's going to be ungodly detail. Think about that. I don't think that it's going up there for... It's kind of like Apollo missions. Coming back with rocks and dust was basically a PR move. But what were they really there for? Yeah. Good heart. You said Vax? I'll have a Heineken. Good choice. Good choice. I'm trying to think. I don't have any photos. I do have some stuff I don't know if you guys have heard about. But this is pretty interesting. You guys will like this. And we're talking about, and we'll get to it in a little bit, about SETI and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have seen this particular thing, but it's pretty funny. But it's amazing how they're coming out with these little statements, but you'll see in a minute. Yep, ginseng. I can tell you that. You said, yeah, sleep is vital to good health, to allow your body to recover. Absolutely. I need to get more of it myself. Hell, I think I went to bed almost 12 midnight last night, and I woke up a little after 5, and it felt like I'd been a train wreck. I wonder why. Oh, yeah, Mimi, you're right. You said all-nighters take a strain on your body, especially the older you get. Yeah, you don't recover quite as much. Yeah, absolutely right on that. Oops, thing jumped on me again here. New Chaotic Order says, yes, China is trying to copy NASA and out to do it. Well, again, it's like, but I understand the different parts of the moon, depending on what was deposited. Now, whether they're trying to find, maybe trying to grab some soil that has some permafrost in it or something, or some kind of ice water, or whatever it may be. Maybe they're trying to grab that to see what its composition is, 100%. Or, I don't think that's just the main reason why they're there. They might be up there just to grab something that, was maybe soil as well as something else. It could have been something laying on the surface they know they can grab with this lander and take it back with them. And they'll say, yeah, here's the rocks and dust, by the way. Yeah, we just, whatever they grab. In the meantime, it's housed inside here. They got something else, maybe a piece of metal. I mean, again, pure speculation. But how do we know? We don't. Why does everybody continue to go up there and get rocks and soil and risk astronauts' lives? Of course, a machine is no big deal. You lose it, it's just millions of dollars lost, but it's not a human being. So, you can send up drones and all kinds of crap up there, meaning, things that are robotic, and send it to the moon, and you're not losing anything. You're not losing any human lives, which is great, right? Claire Mead, good to see you in there. He said, here in the UK, it's ready soon. Are you planning on taking that? Is everybody planning on taking that? Is it going to be like mandatory over there? What's going on over there? New chaotic order said, yes, China is trying to copy NASA and how to do it. And then you said China will try to go to Mars and land before us. Oh, no, we've been there a long time before them. Yeah, we've been there since the Viking missions in 75, 76. And as far as people-wise, we'll be there before them. You can almost guarantee it. And if not, it'll be like a group effort, so to speak. It'll be Americans as well as them. So it's not going to be, they got there before us kind of thing. Keep in mind, they're all working together now. They're all bedfellows. They got the higher elites, all of these major big hitters, if you will, that are higher up in the higher than the space agencies. They're calling all the shots. So now they're just having everybody work together because it's more financial feasible for them to work together as far as that. And the technology they can bring to the table, everybody can bring to the table, it's just making it a lot more efficient, so on and so forth. So these guys, trust me, they all know what they're doing. If they say China's going there first, you can bet we had a hand in it. And either whether it's just our technology or man going up there with them, you know what I mean? Meaning American. Phil Cox with daughters Jessica and Kelsey Brown. What's going on there, Phil? Good to see you. And he said, hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. Hope you are all well. I hope your family's doing well there, Phil. We're doing good here. Is that what they're saying, Dr. Z? He said, Catch-22, airlines will not take you unless you have been vaccinated. Guess what? I'll jump in the car and I'll head wherever I'm going to go then. Don't need it. Daniel Webster, what's going on? Good to see you in there, man. I just seen Miss here to talk to you, so I must have missed you somehow. You must have slid right in there. Matt Patterson, what's going on? He said, hey, Chris and everyone, happy Friday. Yay. Yes. Renee, you said, oh, my God, there's a thumbs down. Oh, my God, the UFO community is gonna end. One thumbs down. I don't know how. Oh, I know. But I always thanked them. I always thanked them for being here. Much appreciated. Jerry Lahane, you said, bottom line, SETI is BS and used to suck up people's computer downtime for zero results. Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, we're just going to get into that because it's pretty interesting. But this is what he had to say. I don't know if you guys seen this. SETI astronomer bets you a cup of coffee that we will find aliens in 2036. And, of course, they're talking about Seth Shostak. Gives an update on SETI's current hunt for extraterrestrial intelligence. Now, we all know, if you go back here, iconic Arecibo telescope has been demolished due to structural failures. Now, there is a big push to get it rebuilt. And you can see it right there. Let me go ahead and zoom into this. Of course, it's going to be really big on here, but I want to show the photo. You can see it right there. I mean, look at the hole in this. It's huge. It's like 100 feet, I think. It's absolutely huge. One of these supports came in and it fell right in on it, and basically, basically said they feel if that structure, you can see it right here, if that structural support has given way, then they believe a lot of it's going to. So they just think because it's kind of like if you have a car and you said, oh, my front brakes are going, but The other ones seem to not squealing yet, so I'll just replace the ones on the right-hand side. Well, you know darn well the other ones are just going to need to be replaced to do the pair. Well, it's no different here. This stuff has been, and I forget exactly when Arecibo opened up, and you guys can tell me if you know it off the top of your head. But when you look at this, you just go, okay, yeah, so it's a shame that they got to knock this thing down. But they're trying to push to get this thing rebuilt. But now China's got the largest one out there. But that'd be interesting if they built something more higher tech, brand new, and replace the actual dish there, as well as all of the antenna on top. So that would be interesting to get high tech shit built into this thing. And I think they will. I'll be honest with you. I think they will, because that's just a giant air, that's missing now. In other words, it's just one more huge dish. It's not going to be listening to space, right? So, yeah, I mean, the dish is stationary, but the antenna moves back and forth. And, of course, it can turn like this here. And there's your antenna right there. Just if it's over here, then it's bouncing signals off of here from this end outward. So it's like wherever this thing, like right there, it'd be straight out. If it was just directly over the middle, it'd be just like central feed kind of thing, signal coming in. And they could just, wherever they place that antenna, it would just bounce off the opposite side and receive and whatever. And transmit, because they can transmit from there too. So it's pretty interesting. But SETI astronomer and astrophysicist Seth Shostak is convinced that humans will become aware of intelligent extraterrestrial civilization by 2036. If he is wrong, he will buy you a Starbucks coffee. He's all hard, isn't he? How many are, just by just a yay, just thinks they're full of crap anyway and they've already discovered life? I'll raise my hand because you guys can see me. I can't see you guys. But absolutely, they're full of crap. They've known about life out there. Come on. If we're seeing the things we're seeing on the moon, Mars, and just, again, the suppressed information here on just the civilizations here on Earth, we know darn good and well. If that stuff is on the moon and it's not ours, clearly there's other civilizations out there. It's as simple as that. And the fact that we're here proves there's probably other life out there. We're not special, guys. I mean, we are to a certain degree, don't get me wrong, because of our planet and how we've adapted here over the thousands of years. But you can bet there's other life out there. So that's what I mean by we're not that special. But we are. And if there's other life forms out there, then we are even more special because, as far as I'm concerned, is that we're part of something much larger, which I've said many a times, right? SETI doubles doubles in speed roughly every 2 years because the speed is largely dependent on computers. Shostak told the Debrief in an interview last week. So just follow Moore's law, and I bet everybody a cup of Starbucks that they will find something by 2036. And what they mean by that is because they just think that their computers are going to be much faster, because you got quantum computers now. And you got to remember, he'll tell you in this that he's not, it's not about, he says it's kind of like contact, like you see them sitting in front of the computer, just like going to different, they're changing the dishes and going to different frequencies. No, they say, because these, and I know this already, is that they have computers that literally listen to thousands of frequencies at a time. So wherever the dish array, depending on where they're at, if they're at SETI, wherever that array is at the time or set to in the sky, they just listen to thousands of basically they got 1,000 receivers basically listening out to space in different frequencies. So, yeah. Goat High said 2036. That is a joke. They decided it is better for us to think we are all alone a long time ago. They simply hang on to this. Yeah, I agree with you. It's almost like they're hoping that we don't actually get invaded somehow. In other words, some alien species doesn't come down to us. Because think about it. If they do, they're going to go, oh, crap. Now they just come completely let the cat out of the bag. We can't have that. So, yeah. Interesting. But that's what they're basically saying. We got better computers. Now, picture them rebuilding, Arecibo, high-tech everything. Maybe better focused dish, better transmitter, receivers, high-tech everything. Again, you can imagine what China's looks like. I've never seen the inside of their basically control room, we'll call it. So I can't imagine what they've got. But you can bet it's the most high-tech stuff. And again, it's not just when you think, you think FM radio, like it's a receiver. But it's when you get into high-tech receivers, there's such a narrow bandwidth that they can literally reject everything outside that particular frequency perfectly, so you don't get what they call an intermod, where you hear like an adjacent channel. If there's noise on that, you don't hear it bleed over onto the frequency you're trying to listen to. So it's super narrow-banded in the frequency, and they can listen to just about anything they want to. And reject all the noise outside that frequency. So the higher the technology, the better, right? So I'm sure they've upgraded their receivers at some point, but put everything brand new in there. That'd be awesome. And I think they'll get funded. I think they will. Mimi, the scientist telling us water is wet. Are you sure it might be dry? Hold on. No, but yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Yes, Bruce. Yep. You said China has the largest radio telescope on the planet, 3 miles in diameter. Yeah, it's huge, this thing. And again, that's why I think it's sad that if they don't actually rebuild Arecibo, it's not as big, but it still plays an important part for a nice, like an electronic air, so to speak, to listen to space. And I think they will reconstruct it. I hope that they do. Jerry Lane, it's a very dry rain. Oh, man. Yeah, it's like right now it's raining wet water outside my house. It's really bad. I like it when it's drier. Yeah, Kyle, he said they always move a doomsday date up, so it's so stupid. Yeah, I mean, again, it's something to get. Of course, a lot of these tabloids do that crap, but it's just to get people to go, oh, I'm going to buy that magazine. It's kind of like a lot of these people who I said about earlier about people who do work on Antarctica. There's always new news coming out from there. It's almost like, well, we made books about it, but wait a minute, we're losing sales, so therefore we have to come up with something else. So they're embellishing more and more just to try to make another book, do this, do that, so I can continue to have this flow coming out. If they're doing it because they're trying to get the work out, then kudos to them, and I give them much respect. But if they're just doing it just to, let's sell some books and I can make thousands and millions of dollars off people, I don't think that's cool. But if your heart's in the right place and you're still doing it, you're trying to get the information out. And, a lot of this research, there's a cost to it. If you're literally going to these places, like Sarah went to a lot of these places before she was ill. And like I said, when she had those soil samples checked out and everything else, absolutely amazing. When you go down to certain places to have this stuff done, or you go on these expeditions, that's when you're getting true to life truth. It's not being handed down. It's there. You're seeing it for yourself, or from the number one person who's going to tell you, unequivocally, the unequivocal truth. It's going to tell you the truth, Maybe that's a possibility. You said it could, Chris, it could rain swamp gas. Yeah, that's bad. I hate it when that happens. I'm going to have to watch out. Yes, Dr. Z, but is humidity dry? John Schaub, you said, Chris, the loud thunder snow sounds in Scotland. Is it bull? Are you talking about it actually thunders while it's snowing? Is that what you're saying, John? Or asking, I should say. Lastly, you said, told you, Mimi, NASA's full of gas. That's a fact. know if you guys seen this either. Fast movers at Transmedium Vehicles, the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomenal Task Force. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Pretty interesting. It looks like one of these AWAC planes. The U.S. Navy photo by Mass Communication Specialist Seaman Hilary Beck. But, and an exclusive feature for the debrief U.S. military and intelligence officials, as well as Pentagon emails, offer an unprecedented glimpse behind the scenes of what's currently going on in the Pentagon's investigation into UFOs, or as they term them, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Just call it UFOs. They always got to change it up. Oh, new modern day, BS. For the last 2 years, the Department of Defense, a newly revamped unidentified aerial phenomenon, or the UAPTF, has been busy briefing lawmakers, community stakeholders, and the highest levels of the U.S. military on encounters with what they say are mysterious airborne objects that defy conventional explanations, along with, let's go. I'm trying to, was that the one there? No, it really doesn't matter. Along with classified briefings, multiple senior U.S. officials with direct knowledge of the matter say two classified intelligence reports on UAP have been widely distributed to the U.S. intelligence community. Numerous sources from various government agencies told the debrief that these reports include clear photographic evidence of UAP. The reports also explicitly state that the task force is considering the possibility that these unidentified objects could, as stated by one of the U.S. intelligence community said, be operated by intelligences of unknown origin. Well, that's a big duh. Again, if we're seeing these things we see on the moon and on Mars and stuff like that, clearly there's somebody or someone else out there. They're just now bringing this to light, right? Yeah. Significantly, a retired U.S. Air Force Brigadier General and head of RAND Corporation Space Enterprise Initiative has, for the first time, gone on record to discuss some of the most likely explanations for UAP. His responses were surprising. And of course, it's talking about advanced aerial threats. Though already acknowledged by the intelligence community in mid-August, the Pentagon formally acknowledged that they have established a task force looking into UAP. In a press announcement, the Secretary of Defense's office stated that the UAPTF's mission will be to detect, analyze, and catalog UAPs that could potentially pose a threat to U.S. national security. According to this release, authority for the task force was approved by the DoD's Chief Operating Officer, Deputy Secretary of Defense David L. Norquist. So, again, DoD again. Here's the top banana. DoD. Imagine that. So, again, I keep saying this, that there's the ones that control as far as I'm concerned, although I think there's actually somebody a little higher because they actually talk about DoDs, how they kind of dropped the ball at some point or something, did something stupid. Let's see. There's one of these official letters they had sent. Let me see. But I'll give you this page, guys. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they've known about this for years. It's just now, it's getting to the point where, the cat's coming more and more out of the bag, so to speak, right? Pandora's box is now opening. And it's going to get to the point where they're going to go, guys, we can't hide this anymore. What are we supposed to do? Because with the growth of technology, everybody's got a phone now on them. They got a camera. Everybody's got one. So they're like, what's the point now? It's going to get to the point where they're going to say, listen, we're going to get caught with our pants down. Might as well just admit this crap now and get it over with. And it would make sense to me. Well, that's what I was trying to ask him, Phil, because you said to John Sharp, thunder, snow is real weather phenomenon. It's basically the intensifying of a storm. That's what happens. And it was funny you mentioned that because I remember I was actually on the radio at the time, and I was powering everything up, so one day I come home, I went out, came back, and we had this huge snowstorm, and we had thunder and lightning, and I kept hearing a snapping sound, kept hearing. I'm like, what is going on there? Let's put it this way. It was, I don't know if I had one of the PL connectors that were loose on my coax, but it was literally jumping from the actual piece that you tighten, which is your ground, onto the actual connector itself, that it was literally jumping. There was so much energy in the air and static electricity that it was literally jumping. So it was trying to ground itself through my antenna, which was, I lived on the third floor and I had 15 feet of mass on top of that, and then I had an 18-foot antenna on top of it. And so I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. What is going on here? So I didn't want to get electrocuted because this thing is like, you can see the spark. So I just took like these insulated pliers that I had and just tightened it up, and I didn't hear it anymore. So what I ended up doing after the storm was over, I actually ran an additional ground. I already had one going outside, but I also ran another one into the pipes of the house, meaning the water pipes, not any kind of gas or anything. But so I did that and never had an issue. But it's basically an intensifying of a storm. It rapidly intensifies, and you get these fronts coming through, and it's overpowering the warm fronts and everything. It's just weird. I mean, just look it up. It's crazy. But it is a normal, it's an actual phenomenon that happens during these powerful snowstorms. Mimi, I agree with you. You said people have always been visited by UFOs. Well, even ancient civilizations drew about it, wrote about it. I mean, yeah. Oh, absolutely believe that. Pete Ferrari said, BS, UFOs are mostly ours. 99% occasionally a visit by overseers. I don't know. I kind of disagree with you on that, and I'm not saying that what you're saying is not true, because we have the technology to do these. We've actually, reverse engineered to whatever we found. Like you said, in 47, we had the crash of Roswell, where, from what I understand, we got fiber optics from that and other technologies. So it would not surprise me. However, now here's another thing to ponder, too. Is it possible that depending on how long they've known about ancient civilizations here on Earth, like let's suppose they went way back in the day where they've seen these things in Antarctica, and these are not ours, what about the technology there? How do we know? Just something to ponder, And, I believe a lot of this stuff could be ours now, but I also believe this has been going on for years. Before we even had flight, there was, records of things coming out of the skies. So absolutely, we've been visited here thousands of years. Oops, damn thing jumped on me. Yeah, I'm just reading you guys going, John Shea and Kyle, yeah, guys, you need to chill with it. I mean, everybody's got their own opinions about it, and I respect that. But to me, it's just like getting mad at each other is not the issue either. And, whether you get it or not, I think everybody should be cautious. I know, Kyle, you said, none of you in the family get sick. I'll be truthful with you. I really ever get sick. And that doesn't mean, I believe I had it back in December of last year. So that doesn't mean you can't get it. Trust me. I know people that were healthy in fact, there's a governor in one of the counties here who actually, him and his wife got it, and they both died. and they were both healthy. They were health nuts. So you can't say you can never get it. And the thing is, it can attack anybody. No, it's not prejudice. It's not, it just, it doesn't just randomly pick. It just does. So, to get violent or get nasty with each other is not the answer to it. So let's, we're all good people here. You guys are both good guys. Let's keep it chill, And Kyle, I can promise you, we know friends that had it. Trust me, and one of them was in the hospital for like 3 or 4 months. It is absolutely not a hoax. It is real. And let's suppose for a moment, if people go, oh, it's not COVID. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, let's say it's not. It's something going around, and people are catching it, and they're dying from it. We got at least 16 to 30 people that die here every day here in West Virginia. There's countless people who get it, who are going for tests and finding out they've got it. Now, the majority will live through it, of course, but you'll get the people that don't. You don't want to be a statistic. Let's just put it that way. So I try to do my part just to have it on. And again, I'm not a big fan of wearing a mask, and I think it's, I get mad when my wife will remind me, oh, did you get your mask? Like if we're going to go into one of those, like, God damn it, and I'm raising all kinds of hell because I don't want to wear it and everything else, but I'm like, you know what, put it on. It's better to be safe than sorry, and it's not hurting me, and it's not like the thing weighs 50 pounds on your face, so it's not a big deal to me. That's the way I look at it. Daniel Webster said, we had a tiny bit of snow the other day. I'm 20 miles north of Houston, almost unheard of, where I used to come from Dallas if it happened more, but it was still rare. Well, it's like here, it was like about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of snow, and it got cold. It wasn't bad, but, they're saying that we're going to have, pretty much a crappy winter this winter. Of course, I've been saying that for the last 3 or 4 years at least, and it's been pretty mild, which I wasn't complaining. But I think this year, because I think it's part of El Nino instead of El Nino. And if you look this up, I don't know if you guys have been watching this on your weather channels, but it's just a different flow of water where now it's coming more down south. We got more of cold water coming down to the south with El Nino. And it usually makes the oceans colder, so therefore, you'll have more storms. So we'll see what happens with that. Mimi, you asked Chris, what's your opinion about Eric Von Daniken? Well, I had his, in fact, I got his book, Chariots of the Gods, and I absolutely believe that a lot of what he says is absolutely true. Now, some of it, could he be spot on, maybe off a little bit? Sure, all day long. But, to me, it's like he had to translate it, because there was people back then when he first started his work that could translate this stuff. And now, there's less and less people able to, translate it, so it's getting worse. Now, that doesn't mean people still can't, but I find it interesting that, a lot of his work is like, wow, because he even stated, too, he said the same thing about how, these people felt compelled to either etch it in stone, Sanskrit, whatever it may be. They found it important to do that and write it. There had to been a reason. They don't just, they're not just sitting there just, doodling. These guys are literally carving it into stone. And, you name it, papyrus, whatever they're doing it on. So, absolutely, I think he was pretty spot on. And even if he was a hair off, because some people have done other, research on it, they said, well, he's not quite accurate on this or that. But is anybody 100% accurate on this stuff? You can do research and still be off a little bit. Think about it. Oh, we got another thumbs down. It's amazing. I just said something about guys, let's not fight. And I got another thumbs down. Come on now. Like I said, but hey, if you think it, you need to do that. Well, I mean, Kyle, and I'm reading your comment. You said, and it's just a flu, but people die. And it's just a flu, but people die of the flu. Every day more people die of the flu than they have of COVID. But you don't see that. Well, we do. We see it, but it's more important now because it's come from somewhere else. If it was just a standard flu, nobody'd give a crap. Well, they would because they don't want to die from it. But regardless, let's say it's just a regular flu. Do you really want to have people that die from it? I don't think you do. Because, like I said, you could be a carrier and never die from it. You know what I mean? But you can pass it on to other people. This is the reason why I go out of my way to make sure I wear mine. It's just, if it helps me and it helps other people, then I'm down with it. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Exactly. Charlene, you said preventive medicine is the best way. And you're right. Absolutely. You know, when I think I was having like this, it felt like this, like it was hard to breathe and everything, like a chest thing. You know what I did? I didn't lay down in bed. I started working out more. I started jogging more. You know what I mean? I just started working out and started jogging. Even if it was bad weather outside, it's no problem. I got a weight room with a treadmill and everything else in it. So get on it and just rock it. Last thing you want to do is go, oh, man, I just don't feel good. I think I'm just going to lay in bed. Nope. Josh D, these two had a fist fight since I've been here. Yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, they're both individual good guys. So, I mean, try to respect each other's, opinions and stuff like that. Even if you think the other one's, I don't agree with them. I agree. I mean, but I try to respect everybody's opinions, unless, of course, it's so far-fetched and I go, okay, we got to draw the line there. But everybody individually is a good person here. Just sometimes they just get a little rubbed the wrong way because of one person doesn't agree with them. But, but I'd rather have a good conversation, have everybody get along, and that's the way to do it, Well, they may be, then just say it that way, Kyle, they're inflating the numbers, and I would totally agree with you. Well, just give you an idea real quick, is that in a couple counties here, there's one county that's got more people that have it and have died in there than us in our county. And yet we have we're like in the orange as far as the color code, where they're less. It doesn't make sense. It's like, so it's almost like they're trying to like suppress the numbers so they can go, no, everything, guys, don't get too worried about it. Let's keep going out there spending. Let's keep our economy going. That's basically what it tells me every time I hear that. Don't think it's fake. It's not. They might be screwing with the numbers, and I would totally agree with you on that. James Cragen, you said, Chris, the Vatican's announcement, they are investing $55 million over 3 years on their 2 large telescopes in Italy and Mount Graham to keep up with the science and technology in case of a space phenomenon. Oh, yeah, I mean, these guys all know this crap. Come on. And they're probably being funded to actually put that thing together so they can become another observatory. Think about it. So it can be used by higher officials. Because I understand these people are in different parts of the world. So you can visit, and here's the thing, maybe you don't have to visit, because a lot of these, they probably just go online, okay, let's go to the Vatican telescope, boom, log on to it, and only so many people can, maybe the, choice people, and go on and just view it right here, in the comfort of their own home. They just, because I need some telescope time. All right, you got it from, maybe James, you can have it from 8 to 11, Chris, you can have it from 12 to whatever, and then, you can log in time, to actually use it. And you can turn this thing, rotate it, do whatever you want with it, and check stuff out. And, of course, you'd have to be like, who knows, if just anybody can use it. But you can bet that they can't. So, to me, yeah. I'll drink that. No, I'm kidding. So, yeah. I can tell you now, you said some deaths attributed COVID are not the only cause. Yeah, I mean, if the body's compromised already, we already know that. Maybe they got a weak heart, bad lungs, certain medications. There's so many different, different things that can contribute to that. A weakened immune system right off the bat, you're already a sitting duck. Regardless, I don't want to see anybody die from this stuff. Come on. These people are being loved. I mean, I don't care if it's grandparents. There was just a girl here that's 30 years old, woman, 30 years old, just got it. Again, if this person should get it and should die from it, again, like I said, this is a bioweapon, regardless what anybody says. Just look it up. Research this stuff. Now, if this is a bioweapon, again, how many has it killed around the world? And I've already stated all this, that, again, this girl, if she dies from it and she doesn't have any children, okay, how many, generations has she taken out? In other words, there's no more, again, well, I don't forget what the numbers are now worldwide, but if you think about it, all of these people, now most of them are elderly and older people, I get it, or compromised, but now you say, okay, this girl 30 years old, well, she planned on having children. She's not going to anymore. She could have had 3 or 4 kids, but now she's not, and that's generations now gone that won't eat everything off the planet, and I don't mean everything, but won't be somebody eating from the land. You won't have to pay out Social Security. You won't have to. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Generations after generation have just been dropped. So we're cutting down the population. If you got a girl that's 20 years old, plan on having kids, or plan on it, most of them do. Then again, she's now compromised. She passes on from it. How many? They don't have to pay her Social Security, and if she had kids, well, we don't have to worry about her anymore. It's a crappy way of looking at it, but that's the way our governments are. They want to do away and cut down the population. I think it's crap. You and me both, Pete. You said, I want to see what the vaccine does to the DNA. I agree. Tony Gibbs. The university is made of tiny little strings. Wrong argument. Never mind. Now, you're talking about the string theory? I think this jumped on me again. Crap. I actually seen that, Renee. Cat from Outer Space. That was actually pretty cool for back then anyway, right? Well, again, Kyle, I mean, I agree, we can say that all day long, and I agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of numbers that are being fudged, and I think it comes right from the very top. Because, I mean, they're afraid that we'll go into a countrywide recession, right? But regardless of it, let's suppose it's all BS. In other words, it's trash. Let's suppose it's complete trash. It doesn't matter. Whatever's going around is killing people. So all I'm saying is very simply is that's why I wear a mask. It helps stop spreading whatever it may be. Because whatever it is killing people. Now, whether the numbers are being fudged or not here. I mean, people can confirm that. And I'm sure a lot of people can confirm it in their states. It is the real deal. A buddy of mine heard that, there's a lot of people that say that the hospitals are jammed, but they're not. And yet, we can go to the hospitals around here. They're absolutely overrun with people like that. In fact, they're actually opening up part of one of the lobbies that they're literally ripping everything out and they're making extra rooms. It's crazy. So, is it possible that it's now more of a flu instead? Because we always get flus at this time of year. You know that. Is it possible it's more than that than COVID? Who gives a shit? At this point, it's like people are dying from it. So I don't want to see anybody's loved one die. And I think you'd be on board with that, at least that part of it. Now, the rest of it, if it's going around, how do you slow it down? Like something as simple as just wearing a mask just helps. That's all. That's the way I look at it. Daniel Webster said, Chris, when you get a chance, look at the picture I sent from Space Detective, the pictures of plumb full of anomalies. Did you already send that to my email? Because I just got a couple of them. Was it today or yesterday? Let's see. Ian, what's going on? Is it evening, Chris, and everyone? Good to see you in there. David Maslin, you said be interesting to find out where the Chang 5 landed. Was it close to any known anomalies? Well, this is more down south where you don't really hear too much about. But again, if we've seen some of the things on the moon that we've seen, you can bet it's not just simply just that one location in the moon, right? You can bet it's all over this moon in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's just something, maybe just a couple structures and it's just in the middle of nowhere, or there's a bunch of them there, who knows? A lot of times they're going to places where I wouldn't say you can't see with a telescope, but it's a lot harder to see, right? So, yeah, that's what I believe is going on. Third eye open, what's going on? I don't know if I even said hi to you earlier. Did you just jump in there? I don't know. Charlene, you said, I don't want to see people die either. And, like I said, regardless of what it may be, whether it's something going around and it's killing people because, maybe in their weakened form or whatever the case is, who the hell wants to see people die? It's human lives regardless, right? That's the way I look at it. If you get a little compassion, you'd be like, yeah, I mean, regardless of what it is, whether the government's lying to us or not, whatever's going around is killing people. So why not play our part not to do it? Spread it to somebody and maybe cause their death. Yeah, pretty much. Photography like Mad. You said anyone who does not wear a mask is being disrespectful towards others. This could be they could be responsible for killing someone. In other words, they are selfish. Yeah, I mean, to me, again, I just do my part. Like I said, I don't like wearing it, but if it helps somebody that I don't know, it's actually helping them, I mean, why not? Again, it's not hurting me. It's not like they're saying, here, put this 100-pound backpack on and walk around with it all day. It's a mask. It's not a big deal. I don't like wearing it, but it also, on the other side of the token, it just, like I said, I do my part, so... Street Shark, actually a good one, said banning alcohol commercials could save millions of lives too. Actually, kind of right about that. You ever notice that though? It's like they really try to, basically glorify drinking. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. People come home. I know friends and they come home and they go, man, I tilt a couple back after a long day and it just helps me relax and I'm golden for the night. There's nothing wrong with that. Man, it's your personal business. Do whatever you want. But I mean, it's like every time, like during a game, forget about it. I mean, that's all it is, right? It's like, my God. It's like, drink up, everyone. So, I don't know. It's just crazy. I'll have a drink to that. Well, a lot of times, maybe too, in Japan, they have to because of the bad air quality, right? So they wear a lot of masks. He said, I've been to Japan a few times and always liked the custom of wearing a mask. I mean, it's just, because, again, the air quality a lot of times is very crappy, like in China and stuff like that. They can be really, really bad in air quality. So a lot of them will wear it anyway, and they're perfectly fine. CC My Harley D, what's going on? Good to see you there, man. You said phase 2 is probably soon. Oh, yeah, we're already in that phase. H-Toss 1AV, what's going on, man? He said, I think the big story this week is Arecibo. If I were a millionaire, Chris and I would be going to PR in Puerto Rico for a rebuild. Oh yeah, I mean, I would think about it. If you were like filthy rich. I mean, it's like, first of all, I'd say, hey guys, is there any way that I can get a piece of land? We could build a small one for myself, because that would be interesting. That would be pretty cool to actually be able to listen to stuff yourself. It'd be like a huge man cave. That would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? No, Kyle, today it's Tutors. He said Subway drink. Not today. I agree with you. Too fast, TJM. You said nobody should be forced to wear a mask under government control. This is not Nazi Germany, and nobody proves it's killing anybody if you do not wear a mask. Now that's fake news. I mean, I don't think. Trust me, when I see these things, and what was it, a meme that somebody said this? Crap, how do they put it? I'm not going to say exactly how it was, but the way they put it was like you can literally pass gas and smell it within seconds. And, of course, you're wearing an undergarment and, jeans or whatever you're wearing, and you can smell it like that. But yet a real thin mask is going to stop that from getting into your lungs. Now, to me, I've always thought it's not going to stop you when you're breathing. You're going to get it. If you walk into a cloud of that, somebody's coughing and everything, you're going to catch it, mask or no mask. But I think it's if they... kind of sounds nasty, but if you sneeze and you happen to do it and it's in your mask, you're not blowing it out into people in front of you or coughing. So, in that aspect, it could help. That's why I would wear a mask. But as far as like I wear the cloth mask and everything else, and that doesn't help. If you walked into an environment in a room that had it floating in the air, you're going to get it. There's no way around it. But, and if you're compromised, unfortunately, this may affect you. But it's if you cough or anything like that, chances are you're not going to just spray it out right out in front of people. Less chance of passing it on. So I wear it just to be courteous to other people. I don't care about it. A lot of people, it's just like you're saying, and it makes sense. It's like under government control. I'm not even worried about that. I don't give a crap. I just go, you know what? If it'll help somebody else and maybe even help me, if it only helps 20%, I'll wear it. It's not inconvenient to me. I don't like it, but it's not inconvenient to me, right? So that's the way I look at it. I mean, everybody's got their own different views, and I respect that. But sometimes people just get real downright hateful about it. And it's like, listen, it's okay to have a different view. I don't have a problem with it. But like I said, to me, it's just like I just do my part just because, There was a guy, in fact, there was a kid that was in our area for the longest time. He's like, it's a bunch of crap and everything else. Remember, they had him on, some of these people are on the news, where they're literally walking into and licking handles of shopping carts. Did you hear that one kid was doing that? Oh, it's a bunch of crap. It's not real. He ended up with it. It's like, listen, it's okay, but to go out and try to get it. It's like walking into a bar room and saying, I'm going to take on the toughest guy I can. Well, if you're looking for the ass whoop and expect one, you're going to get one. So to me, it just seems like if you're looking to get this thing, you will probably get it at some time. So why not try to prevent it if you can, just a little bit? Again, that's just my opinion. Nobody has to agree with it. Dr. Z, my wife passes gas a lot. I hope she eats roses. That would help. It's kind of interesting the way you said that, Mimi. You said, Chris, I imagine the moon has some kind of galactic gas station where extraterrestrials take a break, have a snack, and refuel their crafts. And here's the thing. We don't even know. To be truthful, we don't even know what even powers them darn things. We have no clue. They may be kind of like with our rover up there now, the 2020 rover. Well, that's the one that's going to be going up there too. But the 2012 rover is what I meant. It's nuclear powered. So it's got to, it's nuclear powered. So this thing literally will outlast the rover itself, right? It'll all fall apart and everything else. So it's got radioactive material that's just decaying, and that's what causes the power, creates power, I should say. And we have had satellites that have nuclear powered for years out there in space. So how do we know they don't have this kind of power source that just never dies? It just, or it constantly refuels itself or whatever. We don't even know. And again, pure speculation, but we don't know that. It could be something that's, we just can't comprehend. And they're long past that, trying to get energy, and they know how to like make or harness energy from space. Who knows? And that they just don't even need that kind of thing. Like we fuel up our cars every week and whatever else, right? I don't know. Jack Lambert, you said I cannot do my job with a mask on. It fogs my vision, which I agree with you on that. It does mine too. And I can't inspect aircraft if I can't see. The aircraft that I find discrepancies on a daily basis. Still going to make me wear a mask? Well, it depends. I mean, I know people, no word of a lie, that their company literally says it's mandatory to wear it. Okay, so you got to wear it. But there's also people that work alone and they don't ride them. So in other words, if I was working alone and I'm doing the job you're doing, I wouldn't wear one. There's nobody in my area to give it to. So unless you're working right on top of people. Now, my brother worked in the service. He was an aircraft mechanic. And a lot of times it'd just be like two guys on a jet, whatever, whether it be A-10 Warhog or an F-16, whatever it was at the time. It doesn't really matter. The thing is, to me, it just makes sense that you go, listen, if I'm working by myself, I don't need to wear one. And especially if you're outside. I mean, if you're out by yourself and you're working outside, or you have this huge area that you're working on these crafts, there's a good chance you're not going to have to worry about that, right? And they may not even actually make you wear one. Do they actually make you wear one, Jack? Or is it something they just say it's kind of like whatever you want to do thing? Ms. Heard, you said, Chris, what do you believe the real agenda of the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force is? Oh, that's a good one. It's a good question. It might be just preparedness for the public. That they know at some point, people are really starting to find the truth out. And maybe they're getting prepared, trying to desensitize people to the fact that when something does big come out, whether it's a country that lets it out of the bag, where, there's structures on the moon, or they found something on Mars, because that's coming too. Like I said, there's going to be life on Mars. It's just coming this year. Even if it's microbial, it'll be real, not fossilized. And like I said, they'll take steps on that. But, maybe they're just trying to desensitize people. Say, yes, this is true. Then now they're going to try to admit that, yes, these are real craft and they're not just simply ours. I don't know. Maybe they're setting this whole thing up, because who said that? They said it was going to be like a fake invasion. How do we know they're not going to say, this, let's say later on, let's say years later, some kind of weird-looking craft, hits a country and blows up half the country. Oh, that wasn't us. It was something from outer space, and they just didn't like your country. Who knows? They'll probably use that as a crutch or some kind of excuse to say, it wasn't us, guys. It was them, I don't know. But maybe they're just simply trying to desensitize people, because maybe the big closure, I don't know if it's going to be like a sudden disclosure or it's just building. I don't know. What do you think is going on? Kyle, thanks so much. Thanks so much for your support, man. I appreciate you. Well, like I said, let's not try to get too heated on these things. It's not good for anybody. I mean, you talk about it. Have your opinions. Love you guys all, regardless. And I like that. This is what makes this group special, is that we can have differences of opinion. As long as we're not attacking each other, everything stays copacetic. So, and again, I respect everybody's opinion, even if I don't agree with it. So what? Hockey Titan Net, you said, I've read, about an Irish company working on wireless induction technology. They had a torch, literally powered by induced energy from the latent EMFs that were all around all the time anyway. Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like this, like people do that simple experiments where they go out with these long gas tubes, these, fluorescent tubes. They go out underneath a high-powered line, and, of course, it lights up. I remember hearing about that. Some people were actually lighting their house that way, which is goofy as hell. And, of course, they can almost sense, like, the drain on that part of the line, and they went and, of course, they fined him and everything else and tore it all down and everything else. Because, basically, there's a lot of energy in the air around these down these lines, And, like you said, with EMFs, it's the same thing, right? It's just energy in the air. Dave Havery said, Chris and fellow Martians, time for bed. Good night, guys. Stay safe. You do the same, Dave. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate your support, brother. You have a good night there, right? Good one, Paul. I like that. Paul McKenzie says, if we wore a mask over our posterior, would it be called a gas mask? Absolutely. Or an ass mask. Whichever you want to look at it. Oops, damn thing. I hate when it does this. Jumps on me. Hey, stars. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, I would definitely not do that either. Do not F with 50,000 kilovolts AC triphase. Yeah, that usually mess up a perfectly good day, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's not do that. Very good advice. Yeah, Kyle, you're right. Eric visited all those ancient sites, so he looked at them up close and put the pieces of the puzzle together. And like I said, he had to try to. I'm not sure if he was proficient at basically decoding the language, but I think he did actually have people help him out. And I think a lot of his work is spot on. Now, some people say, well, that wasn't so much true what he wrote about in the book here and there, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay. But if the majority of it is true, my God, I mean, then these guys are speaking the truth, right? Let me see. Kyle Harvey said, Ancient Aliens was a very good show on the History Channel. Yeah, it was. The only thing I didn't like about it is as it got more and more into it, like the very first season, would you guys agree that was the best time? That was the best season, had the best material. I remember, I don't know what season it was, but then they got into, was Bigfoot an alien? I went, okay, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. It's like they were just losing material and they just had to come up with something. I just went, I'm all set. I'm just good. And then they started coming back out with, they started coming back out when they came out with the new series, like lately, I think it was. They were trying to go back to their roots like they were doing, and it turned out to be not bad. Okay, Jack, I asked you to leave a comment. You did. You said mask is mandatory at my company. Yes, but I still refuse. They leave me alone, and I'm in tight spaces as inspector with other techs. Many of us in not one case of COVID in a year. Maybe be luck. Well, it might be, and because you're only working with them particular ones, maybe you are. Maybe it's what it is. You're in like a small circle of people. Now, keep in mind, I work with the public all the time, and I get stuff shipped in on trucks that are coming from all kinds of states. Think about that. So we have to wash our hands quite often because we just don't know, especially if you're going to eat later. But yeah, I mean, you got stuff coming in from all over from trucks. So, we get a lot more chance of getting it than, believe it or not, working in a hospital, because we get these people first, or the stuff comes in first before these people even get to see the hospital. So it's kind of like we're in the same boat as they are, right? So I respect them. Anybody being in the hospital, working at the hospitals, unreal. Yeah, you're right about that. I can tell you, they said, where did the time go? 1,900 hours here in the UK. Yeah, I heard about that, Your Highness. You said Jupiter and Saturn alignment December 21st. It's supposed to be like really, really bright in the sky from what I understand, too. So that would be pretty sweet to see that. Charlene, you said you are awesome, Chris. Well, thank you. You are too. I appreciate that. Blue Sunset, you said a news item. The Chinese have laser weapons that can attack targets on Earth from space, and the U.S. isn't far behind. The future is now. They're behind, Blue Sunset. We've had that crap since the 80s. During the Space Wars kind of thing they had, Star Wars project rather. They've had that since then. They actually, I remember them talking about they were going to either have some kind of warheads on satellites or laser beams then. That was back in the 80s. So clearly we already have this. But everybody wants to be the superpower no matter where they're at, regardless of who's got it first, right? It's like, well, I'll blast your satellite from space. Okay. But then I'll blow yours out of space. I mean, what's the point? I mean, it just goes back and forth. I don't think that they're doing this. I think, again, maybe these higher-ups, these elites from every country is going, you know what? If this is true, like we're talking about right here on the screen, they're talking about real phenomenon that's coming from space. If it's true, isn't that, maybe that's what they're getting prepared for. Maybe because who knows if these other beings out there doesn't say, well, these guys are getting more and more technologically advanced quicker and quicker, faster than we thought. Maybe we need to visit them more often. So now we're going, oh, okay, we're starting to see a lot more of these. Maybe we should stop putting these weapons out in space. And, of course, we're thinking, oh, my God, we're going to fight with each other, and not thinking that we may be protecting our planet from something coming to us. Think about it. When you think about outside of space, you got maybe a couple satellites above Earth, and then the satellites above every continent or every country in the world. They all got their own. Well, now you have this complete link around the world because every country's got their own, satellite that has laser or whatever. Laser would be the best, of course. But if you have laser or whatever, doesn't matter how they do it. Could be EMPs. But if they had something like that, then they have, basically, defense around the whole planet. Whether it be next to the equatorial region, and then they're like all the way around the planet. Something comes from any direction, we can blast it. And maybe turn our other satellites towards it too to try to take it out. Or it could be just a regular body from out in space coming towards us. That may be the issue there. Nothing like, something ominous. But you know as well as I do, it's never just, it's just a simple little weapon. It's much more usually, right? Mick Gust, what's going on? You said, hi, Chris. What's going on, Mick? John Jay, you said you can see them testing laser weapons on the weather sats as they superheat the air around the laser and it shows up. Well, you like I said, they've had this since the 80s. You know, they want to make it say, the new Space Force, and they want to make sure make it sound like everything's just brand spanking new, and it's not. It's not. It's a bunch of crap. There you go, Hockey Titan. Now you're thinking. You said maybe we can get Red Bull GoPro to sponsor getting a Mars Anomalies and Beyond GoPro camera set up on Mars. Might help pay the cost of putting on SpaceX rocket. I like the way you think. I'm going to have to talk to Elon. Okay, man, what do you think? Then he'll probably go, don't worry about it. You know, I already seen the structures. I mean, there's nothing on there. It's just rocks and dust. And that's why you want to go so bad and die there, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if I said hi to you earlier, Mags. I didn't see you in there. Mags K. Maybe I did. But there's so many people in here. I'm kind of like, But if I haven't, I'll say hello to you. Well, Your Highness, you said, I thought space was off limits, treaty signed. Yeah, I mean, supposedly they were, it was said not to have any kind of weapons out in space. But if we, the people, can get this treaty and read it, and we see that, clearly there can't be anything out in space, that doesn't mean that they haven't. Think about it. Now, if let's say it comes out and they say, well, there are, we do have weapons out in space, but that's just to guard the planet from anything flying into us and it'll protect us. Of course, they're not going to say things like UFOs. They're going to say, other space debris or something coming towards the planet, we can actually knock it out of space. So that'll be interesting. Yeah. Because, at some point, all that stuff comes out, right? Kyle, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess you can knock them out old school, if you will. You said these extraterrestrials are so advanced, there's nothing that we can do. You may be able to still protect yourself. Now, if we can't, then we're just all screwed anyway, right? But we may be able to still do that. I mean, we don't know. Maybe they're not impervious to an attack from us, from a laser or something along them lines, or very powerful, EMP or something like that. We don't know. Now, you would think as high-tech as they were, they'd be able to protect themselves from anything we got to offer, but we don't know. What's going on there, Cloudy, with a chance of UFOs? You said evening all. Did I miss anything? Or have we just started? What are we talking about? Hope we talk about Antarctica stuff after Sarah's thesis. Oh, yeah, we've already talked about that. And I was just telling everybody earlier in the show that I got a video coming out that I wanted to get out today, but I actually got it was actually my sister-in-law's fault. We'll blame her. She had problems with her HVAC system in her house, or heating, at least the heating portion of it. I went over there, helped her out, got her straightened out. So it kind of set me back a little bit, but regardless, I'm going to have that out tomorrow. We're going to really rip apart the photos that Sarah and I were passing back and forth, and a lot of Sarah's work, and it does corroborate everything she's been saying in her thesis. Not that she needed that. She did enough of the research on here to, like, I'm blown away by the stuff I read. When I read her stuff, I learned something new. Let's just put it that way. Many things new. But what I did was I took apart the pictures that, close to her and we used the term, is that we were going back and forth. And after ripping these apart, I kind of wish you could see these. But I think she knows in her heart, and she knew in her heart anyway, what was really going on. And she was definitely no fool about it. So got that coming out, and I do have the full version thesis coming out. In other words, and I explained to everybody earlier that the one I have out already was the one that she said was completed then. But as Julia used the term, she thought that she was going to see her last sunrise, so to speak, or sunset, along them lines. And I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and take this just in case and basically turn it into a scrolling book. And this way people could actually archive it, do what they want, share it, whatever. Instead of having just a site, because for what I understand, I'm thankful to Julia, because she said she's actually got her site's going to be open until 2025. So she paid the fees to keep it online until then. At the time, they were saying that it could be shut down anytime, but I'm thinking if it's hacked or any of that sort, I don't want that. So I got the thing and I put it out for everybody to enjoy, but now I got the full version of it, which is like an extra hour and 2 minutes long. But, people go, Dan, it's long. Well, it is, but it isn't. I mean, how long does it take to read an actual real good book? I mean, if you really think about it. So that's going to go up Sunday, that thesis, the full version, whatever's on the site. And of course, you guys will get the link to that too. And then, of course, I've got the actual video tomorrow is going to come out, be around the afternoon, mid-afternoon, somewhere around there. And I rip apart these photos. Absolutely. And some of the things I've seen in there when I enhanced it just blew me away. So, because you'll see me like I'm really excited in it because there's just some crazy stuff in there. And I think you guys will enjoy it. It's just ungodly stuff. Let's just put it that way. Definitely not ours. And if it was, then we were a lot more intelligent than we thought. And that's going way back when. So, yeah. Jack. Good one. I love that. Wearing a mask while having sex is awesome. I can't see the disappointment on her face. Oh, that's not good. Oh, man. Yeah, I agree with you, Leslie. We got to stop talking about masks. Your Highness, thank you very much for your support, man. I do appreciate you. Says keep it up. The little pair, the little workout pair. I like that. Again, thank you for your support. A big thank you to you as well, Bobby Pentland. Much love to you. Thank you very much for your support as always. You said thanks, Chris, for her memories. Well, again, you heard me what I just said about the full thesis coming out as well. And I think everybody needs to grab this. Like I said, I got a program on here where I can just grab any video from anywhere on the internet and I can download it, whether it be YouTube. And you can look it up. Which one can do that? I forget which one it is on this computer. I can do it, but grab it, archive it, because you don't know if it's going to get knocked off. You don't know if stuff's going to get hacked. And it's just awesome information. You sit back, let your kids read this thing. And of course, if they're old enough to be able to read well, and they can comprehend what's really going on, we actually pass this down to our future generations so they're aware of what's going on. It's not just, it's like, hey, what did you learn in school about Antarctica? Hey, it's frozen and there's ice. Really? That's it? There's much more to it. You've been lied to. Well, I don't know if I'd say lied to, because at the time, did they know all that? I believe they did, but did they know it fully what was going on? I don't know. Regardless, it's still information. It's something they will not learn in school. You can almost guarantee it. So there you go. And not to mention, she's done a fantastic job of the research that she's done, right? So again, Bobby, thank you very much for your support, man. Let's see. Leslie Warren, he said, that'll be great. I'll be on my computer. Well, like I said, some of you guys in the last one, on the thesis that I uploaded, they were saying, well, the words are too small. I can't really see it that well. And I can understand it coming on a phone. But again, if you can cast it onto your TV, which a lot of people can cast their phone to their TV. If not, you can just get the app or whatever and just cast it on your TV. And if you got Wi-Fi enabled TV, cast it right on there, watch it on a huge screen. I got a 65-inch over here. Boom! Just, just like it's lifelike. So that's the best way to do it. I don't recommend anybody watching this on their phones. I mean, if that's all you got, I get it. But at least a good size tablet or PC or laptop rather, or on your TV. But I did make it all full screen this time, so even the words are bigger. So that'll definitely help. And again, it's the very latest last thing that Sarah finished, and she did complete it, thankfully. And like I said, we all had a part to play in that. Helped her out get it done. It's just fantastic work. So I think the work should live on, right? H-1AV, he said, I could see it fine. Yeah, but what were you seeing? Were you seeing it on your phone, or was it something else? Ms. Here, you said, I too believe so many advanced civilizations here on Earth have come and gone. I will continue to do so. We have been to Mars, the moon, etc., and back many times. I absolutely believe all that. I mean, and the reason why I say that is because of what I'm seeing, and again, according to the soil analysis that Sarah had done, and again, she states in there that she spent a little less than $11,000, and I don't doubt her. I don't, because I know her quite well. I know she did. But the funny thing about it is when they did that, they said that these metals were in the soil, and they date back to over 96,000 years. Now, are those numbers correct? Well, even if it was half of that, are you serious right now? Who cares? The thing is, there was industrialization on Antarctica, okay? And then when you see the structures that are there, it's no wonder. You just go, okay, you absolutely believe. And if they kept this from the public, and one of you guys was saying that you put it on Facebook and somehow they knocked it off, which I don't understand that. But it doesn't surprise me that they're censoring a lot of stuff that's being put out there. And it's just, whatever happened to free speech? I mean, it's not like it's hurting anybody by doing something like that, a paper on that. But it's just weird how they just censor certain things. But, I believe that wholeheartedly, that we may have not been the first people on this planet. And she believed that wholeheartedly, too. She'd tell you right out on the thesis, we were not the first people on this planet. And maybe it was something similar to us, I'm going to call it like a pre-human. Like, in other words, it wasn't just us particularly, but people very much like us. Who knows? It's, because it's been suppressed so often, or so much rather, that we don't know the whole truth. And it'll be a while before we do, right? Let me see here. Photography, Light, and Magic, you said, I think there's life in every corner of the universe. Well, like I said, I mean, if you think about it, when they look at the Big Bang and how the universe is still expanding, and they can tell this because of red drift and how all the planets are moving away from each other and moving away from a center. So which planets, and we've talked about this before, which planet would more likely have life on it and be super advanced? The first planets that came out, because they would have already, been in molten, basically a molten ball, cooled down, started life there. They would have started. So that's at the very end, or the very edge of the planets, not the solar system, but the actual, I guess it would be, not the solar system, but the galaxy itself. That'd be at the very edge. Those planets that came out first most likely have life. So if we're way back here towards the center, then they are much more advanced than we'd ever be. I mean, they might look at us like a couple microbes and say, oh, look at these poor little things. They're trying to struggle and survive, and they're just barely coming out of their planet. And we just kind of just blink our fingers, and we'll just snap our fingers, blink our eyes. We're halfway across the galaxy within seconds. We don't know. But chances are the planets that are outermost are the ones that's going to be more advanced. So, and just because we can't maybe hear them or see them, because they're on the very edge, then that doesn't mean they don't exist. And I think it's teeming with life. Now, it could be anything from life. It could be microbial life. That's still life regardless, right? So I think that there's life everywhere as well, in one shape or another, one form or another. Kyle said, once again, we have been coming and going off this planet for millions of years. Well, I mean, at some point, like I said, if we are the humans that built everything that's in Antarctica, and if it's 96,000 years ago, roughly, give or take, doesn't matter, then that's insane. Because, it iced over. Maybe that was one of the catastrophes. You got this pole shift. It pretty much tidal waved everything. Everything turned to ice where it was actually grassy and thriving with life. And then all of a sudden, boom, came to a standstill. So then it, of course, we had to come back up again. And then, of course, we flourished again. And then all of a sudden, we got another catastrophe, another catastrophic event. And then now we're in the fifth cycle. So if that's true, if that was us back in the day, we were really technologically advanced. And you know what I mean when you see the video. Just really cool. So, I mean, it just opens up your mind. There's like so many possibilities that could just, wow. It's just crazy, right? Oh, thank you, Megs K. Appreciate your support. Always enjoy you being here. Very insightful. Got good comments and stuff like everybody else. So, again, thank you. And like I said, I don't know. Just, wait a minute, this thing jumped on me here. God. There you go. Yeah, I mean, when you stop and think about it, and I see you guys right here saying there's multiverses and stuff like that. Bruce, you said that. There are multiverses. And I believe that. And, in multiple dimensions. And a lot of people say these people come out of a different dimension. And it's not so much, like another planet. Some people say that it's coming from Hollow Earth. And is that impossible? If these things are coming out of the water, we know they're not just going underneath the ground and it's like cities underneath. How do we know? Have we been there? Have we seen it? Have we looked? How can we say yes or no? Well, how can we say no to it? Because we don't know. I don't know. Again, Mags, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Leslie Warren, you said, amazing lady, Sarah, very gifted. I wish I had known her and told her my stories as an ex-vet. And my dad went, he was on Antarctica in the 60s, Deuce Bay. Yeah, because she talks about Deuce Bay, you know that. In the 60s, Chris, I saw that in a postcard he sent us. Oh, absolutely. It's just, there's only, a privileged few. What I like about it, and I say this in a video. Well, what I like about it, but I also kind of like surprised. They have these shipping ports, and the video that I'm going to show and I'll link to it is pretty interesting because it's like helicopter views and everything else, and it's ungodly. It's 4K, so it's crystal clear and shows different parts of Antarctica, right? And then there's one part that what was his name? I'll see it right here. Gentleman, James, he sent me this email, James Millspaw, rather, and he had sent it, said, Chris, you got to check this video out. And there's a part that's symmetrical. It's just crazy, and it's right there in the mountains. And it's so easy to see. There's going to be what is that? Kind of remind me of the Nazca lines. Let's just put it that way. And you'll see what I mean in the video. So, there's some photos that you just can't get that she had gotten, and some things you can find. You can find them all over the internet. So what I found cool about it is that when she told me that these were given to her, but they were already censored. Sucks. But like I said, near the end of, her end days, we're going to use the term, because I hate to really actually talk about it, but when she was getting near the end, I was showing how a lot of this stuff was censored, and I actually show it right in these photos. Absolutely censored. And you'll understand why when you see it. Good stuff. I seen that. Just jumped on me again. But, yeah, where did it go? Let me see. Just disappeared. Yeah, you were talking about the London Hammer. I've seen that, Kyle. It's pretty interesting. That is cool. If it's the one I think it is, yeah, that's pretty neat. Max K said, "Oh well, it gives me so much pleasure, and it's a great community. It's for us it's for us all really as for Chris. Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I said this a million times. I see a lot of hangouts and stuff. People get along with each other. Don't get me wrong. Really, really good communities. There's some good ones out there. But I don't know if it surpasses you guys. And it's not just to blow smoke. I mean, I come on here and I'm like, can't wait, man. It's Friday evening. Let's get this on. You know what I mean? Because I love having a conversation you normally can't have. Let's say you guys are looking up something during the week and you get something you want to share. Well, it's kind of hard to do that with your local people because chances are they're not going to be as enthusiastic, even if they find it interesting, right? So when you get on here, we got like-minded people. It's just so awesome just to be able to share the information and kind of throw it around and everything else. And it's just cool to just have these things back and forth. I think it's awesome. Great community. Leslie, you said, I think the Arctic and the Antarctica was one. Well, the way they claim, I think it was because it had the north and south, I think it was, and I don't know if it has broken apart on a shelf kind of thing, but I think it was at one point. I'm almost positive. And, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like what happened to every continent here. It all broke apart, right? Because what was it, Pangea at one point, where it was one large continent until it broke apart. H-1AV said the Navy would know from decades of sonar images around the world. True. Absolutely true. I can just imagine some of the things they see down there. Think about it. And some of the things they go, we just can't talk about. They're not going to spill that. And it makes sense. Because it'd be just like everybody else to get this gag order, right? There's a Louis Longbeard. Didn't even see you creep in there. Thank you very much for your support, sir. Much appreciated. You just keep up the good work, brother. This is the best channel for Hangouts. Yeah, well, you get the best people. It turns out to be that way. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I appreciate you, man. Like I said, I didn't even see you slip in there. I don't know when you jumped in there, but I'm glad you did. Mimi, you're taking off. You said good night, everyone. Until next week. Well, like I said, Mimi, don't forget to check out the video tomorrow. And the other one, like I said, if you want to see that new, the thesis I put out, it's the full version of it. Everything that's on her site is now like a scrolling book, like I said, if you're interested in doing that. And plus, I got that video coming out tomorrow afternoon, so check that out if you don't mind. And I think you'll like it. So, good night. Have a good night. And you be safe there, right? Dennis Johnson, you said other place artifacts. You put other place artifacts found in coal mines that are hundreds of millions of years old. Yeah, I mean, because they have a formula, of course, They dig down and they say for every, 100 feet turns out to be whatever, goes back X amount of years, right? And I remember hearing a thing, and I don't know if you guys did, but, they found that hammer. There was one place I heard of, and I don't remember what it was. It's been years ago since I've heard it, but they were talking about how there was a, what the hell was it? They literally dug down so far that they hit a brick wall, literally. And they were just like, what is this? So can you imagine they're just kind of digging. What the hell is that? And it's really a brick wall. They went down a couple hundred feet down in the ground and found this. That's insane. What was it doing that? And how did it get washed over with all this dirt? How old was it? I forget how many years old they said it was. Kyle, you said 400 million years old. The wood handle is so old that it's starting to cool over. Yeah, I mean, it's trying to turn into a charcoal, wasn't it? Some kind of weird, I forget how they put it, but yeah. I remember seeing that. It was just awesome. Elaine Millard, you said, most of them would glaze over or think I was a bit cloud cuckoo. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. If it's somebody that's similar to you, that maybe they haven't looked in depth about it or haven't really been into looking at it, they might go, yeah, I've always heard about that. Tell me more. And those are the kind of people you want to be able to talk to. Now, if the other people go, that's cool. And anyway, pass me a beer. Then you go, okay, clearly that's not going to work. But yeah, it's just cool that, some people you can actually get interested in. And next thing you know, they're like all over it. So, it's like, recruited another one. And it's not like you're recruiting them to anybody. You're just saying, listen, there's stuff out there. You guys need to check this out. And the ones that are really, really want to know and say, yeah, I've always thought about that. I just never really looked into it. Thanks. Those are the ones you go, yes. Miss Heard, you said, I'm going to go. It's supper time. Much love and many blessings to all. Well, thank you, Miss Heard. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And I do appreciate you. You have yourself a good weekend. And like I said, don't forget to check out the video tomorrow. And, just be safe there, right? Elaine Millard, you said, cartwheels in the ceiling rock of a coal mine. I've seen something like that, too. There was also one I saw that was buried on the ground. And this is, I don't know if this is in Greece or what it was. I forget where it was, but they literally was buried in the ground, and it was quite deep. And when they pull that out, so it's like, over the years, man, it's just crazy. But when you find this stuff in mines or in the, they just happen to dig into a mountain, and they find this, hundreds of feet deep or whatever, you got to think, like I said, I forget how many feet per years or decades. I forget how it goes, but there's a formula for that. And I don't know if they go by the sediment of dirt and rock. I forget how the formula is, but they can pretty much figure out just how, get a basic idea. And of course, they can do tests on the stuff, but they can get a better idea. Now, let me see. Kyle, you said not just a couple of million years old, but or millions of years, multiple millions of years. Yeah, I mean, we just don't know. I don't really think we know how old man is. I really don't. Now, they do say that the Earth is, 4.6 million years old? A billion, rather. So... they're saying, well, of course it had to cool, life had to start, How do we know that? I mean, we're going by evolution, but how do we know it wasn't like the movie Prometheus where they planted DNA in the water? Of course, that's how it started. Of course, that's how it went by evolution. I'm not saying that's the way it went, but it's just weird how we really don't know. Every time we turn around, there's something totally different. We're finding our time frames are totally off. We're seeing things through... research now that are just mind-boggling. You go, how is this possible? I just saw another thing on the one of these guys that are covering the moon, and really, really interesting. I'm going to pass it along to you guys, too. I thought that was really, really awesome work. Pretty cool. Yep, there this thing goes again. We go back up. Fox Mulder, what's going on? You said Extreme Reality Check here on the YouTube did a series called Biggest Secrets Hidden in Plain Sight, and she covered the London Hammer and the fossilized foot and the modern cowboy boot and the cave in Vincennes. Yeah, I mean, just that hammer alone is just wild. Yeah, I'll be checking into that a little bit more as well because I've been looking at some photos of Saturn, Bruce. So we're gonna check that out. we're gonna definitely check it out. See what we can find in there, because I know there's some interesting things there, like in the rings and stuff, if you know what I mean. So we'll be checking that out. Oh, absolutely, Kyle. Yeah, we can definitely tell just by carbon dating. Yep. So how many millions of years old they are by the handle? Yes, we do know how to carbon date the wood. Oh, absolutely. And like I said, when they find out the years, carbon date these things, they just go, again, anything you've ever been told about how old man is, it totally leaps and bounds. It just blows it away. Blue Sun says 65 million years, has a layer of black from the asteroid impact event. Well, that's true. It's cool how they can do that, because it's like, they uncover parts of the ground. And of course, you can see layers, different, density of, gravel and stuff like that. They can just see that the soil, and they can tell, just about anything about that, whether it was very wet in that region, it was very dry, an impact event, or whatever it may be. That's what's just really interesting. There you go, Bruce. He said the Earth is trillions, not billions. This universe is quadrillions. I believe aliens over our closed-minded scientists. Well, I don't know. They're trying to figure out, and of course they have theories, which is backed by, peer-reviewed, but it's almost like the more they try to figure it out, it's like you've got archaeologists that are like totally, they come out with something and the scientists go, that's not true. What do you mean it's not true? Here it is. We can carbon date this. Now, some things have been wrong, because there's different ways to carbon date, and there's different ways of different tests to test some things. So I find it interesting that they will literally disagree with archaeologists when they find this stuff, unless it's something that's like wow, like it's like holy crap kind of moment. And then of course they may sit up and take notice. Other than that, could care less. They'll totally disagree with them. Jack Lambert said, no, we just don't know true history. Well, that's what I was getting at, right? They're just, as they're going along, they're trying to figure it out. And of course, every time they think they have it, and don't get me wrong, that's what science is all about, isn't it? It's like, this is what it is up to this point. This is the research we've done, and this is what we got. Doesn't mean it can't change, right? So something that goes against what their findings, well, now they have to reevaluate. And of course, they can always update their findings. And of course, now it's a different number, whatever it may be. So that's what I like about science. It's ever evolving. It's ever changing. So that's why you can't just believe something's etched in stone because you just don't know. It's ever changing. So it's like if you were an archaeologist and you say, well, I don't believe, the pyramids were only X amount of years old. And Kyle, you were saying something about it's over 100,000 years old. And I believe that's true. At least a lot older than they say. But, okay. But yeah, I mean, I think they're just, from what the information they have now, this is what their theory is. But that doesn't mean it can't be blown out of the water. But like I said, they're always conflicting. Just look at sometimes scientists don't want to hear what the archaeologists got to say, and vice versa, right? But yeah. Tang, so do Dan Nolan. Great work. I am a Vietnam vet, 173rd Airborne Combat Brigade, October 67. October 58. I appreciate your service. Appreciate that. And, yeah, I mean, I think we look around. The more we look around to this stuff, we look around just on our own planet, we find that we're much older than we originally thought. At least, like I said, when I go back to high school, I never knew any of this. Did any of it exist? Did they know this? Or was it just being suppressed even back then? And now we don't know. I believe that they have. Now, you guys might have a different opinion, and that's cool too. Or I believe you guys are probably on the same page as I am. But what I do is I go, listen, now I believe every time I turn around, it's like, yeah, I believe this may be true for now. So I don't believe it's going to stay like that. I don't believe that, I believe that it's always going to be changing, and they're going to find new things. And, of course, your history books will change. But if I was to go into school right now and say, hey, so how much you guys know about Antarctica? Well, we know it's a frozen tundra, that they're doing ice samples. Yeah, okay, what about the rest of it? Huh? Yeah, they don't know. They're not being taught that. So, which I don't understand. They should be saying, yes, if we found ancient civilizations everywhere else in the world, why don't, and they're starting to share it, everywhere and on TV and everything else. But when it comes to something that's on Antarctica, why aren't they sharing that? Unless it's not ancient buildings. Well, might be in a technical, it's ancient, but they're probably modern than anything we have today, but yet they're probably 96,000 years old, like she says in her thesis. So that's where it becomes more mind-blowing. If it's more technologically advanced than what we've got today, and it's that many years old, wow. Think about it. So let's say all that's true, and that it's 96,000 years old. Where are the people that built those, if it wasn't us? Where are the people that built those, and how far in technology are they today? Yeah. Mind blown. Well, the only thing that's different, Kyle, is that they say that the pyramids, you said the pyramids are around the world were built by a far more intelligent species. But if you look at the writings of the Egyptians, they said, no, we built the pyramids, but only from the help from our overseers. So was it the actual Egyptians they're saying that, or was it the people prior to that? And it was written inside these pyramids or these papyruses. We don't know. Because you might think, oh, it's the Egyptians, that lived there. Was it ones prior to that, and they actually inscribed it in the walls and stuff like that? The actual, real Egyptians that built it. Who knows? That's a good part of it, Kyle. He said, reason why they're not sharing the information is because they do not want to have to rewrite the history books because of the other religions who have to change their religion. True, part of it. People are funny. I mean, to us, we'd be like, if they told us tomorrow, it's like, oh, yeah, we found, these high-tech structures in Antarctica, and we don't believe that they were ours. I think we probably wouldn't be too freaked out, but you'd be less freaked out if they said they were on the moon and not here on Earth. Because think about it. Most people go, it was here on Earth? These people would lose their minds like, so are they still here? Are they a threat? I mean, you could say the same thing about whatever's on the moon, but when you say it here, you go, wait a minute, they were on this planet? Oh, that's crazy. You don't know. Hockey Titanette, you said Antarctica has a testing facility to simulate a Mars base to see how people do in such closed environment. They chose it because Antarctica is like Mars in some places, not covered in ice at all. That's true. That's absolutely true. What is it? What the hell was it named? Was it Murdoch Bay or something? What was it called? But, yeah, I mean, there's a testing ground there. That's why a lot of people say, oh, we've never been to Mars. We're up here in Antarctica. Oh, my God. They're doing it for a reason, guys. It's a harsh environment, And that's what they do. They take these things and they test them and they let them out there. They don't just go up there for like 2 days. Okay, throw the rover out there and see if it'll survive. Okay, pack it up, let's go. No, they literally let it stay out there because the rover right now is up on Mars. And, of course, how long has it been there? Been since 2012. Still there 8 years later, going on 9. So, yeah. So, I mean, these things, they have to test these things and, get longevity out of them, stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it takes, when you say, well, the rover's already on its way, which it is, the 2020 rover's already on its way, and it'll be there in April 11th, I think? April something. In April. So it'll be there then. They didn't just test this thing. They didn't just put it together and say, okay, it's a week. We'll just go. I can almost guarantee you they were building this thing when they were building the 2012 rover. Almost guarantee it. And of course, it took them years from, you got 2004 when you had the Opportunity and Spirit rovers. So they were probably saying when they were sending these up and they were seeing how those things were working out on the landscape of Mars, guys, we need a bigger one. Okay, right now build it. So they were putting it together then. This is back in 2004, so do the math. 8 years to build this thing and test it and everything else. So you can bet when they were building this 2020 rover, that started probably prior to, probably right around 2004 as well, or at least at 2012 when they landed it there. So they don't just do this in 1 month. They literally have these things out on the surface of Mars for like not Mars, I'm sorry, in Antarctica and some of the hottest places on Earth and stuff like that. They do these testing purposely. That's a grab. She said, sorry, I'm not talking much. I'm listening while painting. Oh, that's awesome. Sweet. Max K said, I think they know as time goes by and they are telling us untruths and can't go back for fear of ridicule. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, what's the worst can happen? Let's say you were NASA. I'd be like, oh, you lied to us, and you get it all off your chest, and that's it. But, most people would say, well, I never believe a darn thing they say after that because they've lied to us so long. But if they are coming out with the truth finally, because they know it's going to get out eventually anyway, then at some point you're just going to go, oh, so they finally decide to tell the truth. So at some point, it's that weird kind of fine line, if you will, right? Bruce, you said, smart people like Chris questions everything. That's how we develop. Well, I mean, you got to look at both sides of it. You can't just say, well, it fits the narrative, so therefore I'm going to run with it. Or it just feels good. Whatever. You got to analyze both sides of it. If the fact that the way you're thinking could be wrong. We don't know. We have to speculate. But we can, by pulling the information together, you try to say, okay, maybe it's whatever. In other words, you say, like we're talking about Antarctica. Is those structures real? Did they come from us? Were they from somebody else? You got to look at every different angle of this, or at least try to, right? And that's how you do more research. You pull in more and more of it. And then you narrow down your research to the point where you say, okay, I've come to the conclusion I believe it's this. Now, you still could be wrong, but at least you're doing the research. That's what it all comes down to. You got to look at it from all sides. You can't just automatically make the assumption, right? Thank you, Jerry. Yes, Mick Myrtle. I'm sorry. But, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but that's what they were saying. Oh, yeah, they got these rovers down there, so it's not even Mars. They're not even on. Oh, stop. Good Lord, stop. And it wouldn't matter. Let's say they were totally faking everything about Mars and stuff like that. Just look at the moon, guys. Just the moon. Like I said, I just seen something that somebody found on the moon. It was just absolutely awesome. And why can't I think of the name of them? But it doesn't really matter. You'll see it. I'll bring it up in one of the videos. Really, really cool. I seen this thing as they were scanning over this. It was the closest I've ever seen come to the moon. And I was just like, oh my God. They literally went over this thing and they turned this. I was like, oh my, there's no way that's natural. There's no way. And it's off the ground. Ah, interesting. What's going on there, Pete's Vlogs? Good to see you there, brother. Thank you for your support. Much appreciated. You're awesome. I didn't see you sneak in there either. You must have just jumped in there. I see a lot of people just jumping in there. John Hookings, you said, hi, Chris. Linda Moulton Howe has investigated Antarctica, and according to whistleblowers, they confirmed much of the same thing. Ancient, futuristic, buildings, etc. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people who have been investigating this are now coming to the same conclusion. Now, there is differences in opinions about certain things on there, and I agree, because some people can say, well, I've checked this out, so therefore I have a different outlook than you do, and vice versa. I don't have a problem with that. Some people, will have a difference of opinion, maybe because of more research, and that's fine. The thing is, if they're all researching and they're trying to find the truth, we benefit from it. It's as simple as that. Paul's taking off. Paul McKenzie, thank you very much. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you, man. He said, night, everyone. John Shea, you said America left a nuclear reactor in Antarctica in one of their bases after the ice started crushing the base. Well, that wouldn't surprise me. And like I said, when you see the structures in this photo, these photos that I'm going to bring out in the video tomorrow, when you see this, it looks like some of the stuff is actually leaned over and stuff. It looks like chaos. It's just a mess, like in some spots, and you're just like, what is that? But clearly, it looks like it's built. Or it was at one point, and just the weight of it has probably caved it in. And it wouldn't surprise me. We're talking about tons upon tons of ice. We're not talking about like a little frost on the car. I mean, we're talking about thousands of tons of ice. I mean, Jack DeVille, what's going on? Good to see you there. I didn't see you jumping there, but you're there. I can tell you now, he said testing the Mars Curiosity rover, the MSL, in Antarctica required a temporary exception to the nuclear ban treaty, and Antarctica sends its power by... Right. Yeah, exactly. And, a lot of times, if you've seen even their testing grounds, I believe it's in California, you can see where they're running this thing, and of course it's tethered, and it didn't even have the power plant on it. It was doing it just electronically. They were supplying the power to the wheels through just a power supply as opposed to the nuclear power plant on it. So, yeah, I mean, they have to do that. They're trying to keep it, from this... contaminating Antarctica or anything like that, but I think that's a little late for that, especially when you look at the soil samples, right? But it's good that they're trying to keep that, basically that part of the world not completely destroyed like the rest of it. That's nice of them. Exactly, Terry Kelling. You said, who knows what's still buried underneath the ice of Antarctica. It wasn't always covered in ice. And I was saying that, I covered that earlier, where I said that. I mean, before the ice formed and maybe before a pole shift, it was lush green land. Probably had trees the whole 9 yards and probably looked like a regular utopia. Who knows? But these structures were built. There's structures on that in a lot of that area in Antarctica. And like I said, there was something brought to me by somebody had showed like these peaks of these mountains, and they're literally symmetrical. Wait till you see this. It's mind-blowing. Wait a minute. How do you change mountain ridges? That's what's really crazy. So it just, again, mind-boggling. Huh, interesting. Archetype Net, he said, I have noted some strange dark patches in the moon, in the few moon pics we have examined recently, and realized that these are shadows of objects that are not in the frame and likely flying. And that wouldn't surprise me, not in the least bit. But it's kind of like I said, they love to mess with your eyeballs. Like when I brought out those large structures, I didn't think for a minute I would see those. But like I said, there's just something about, there was a straight edge to that shadow. I'm thinking, okay, seriously, what is that? And then after I've just brought up the brightness in that area, brought up the exposure, these things come out. So I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even see that. Totally missed it. But again, put a lot of dark areas, you think it's shadows, and the lunar surface is just so damn bright that you can't see anything. I don't believe that's the case at all. I'm not saying it's dull. I believe there's a lot of the lunar surface is actually maybe brighter than we think, but I don't think it's that bright. I think they're literally taking this stuff out, and they've done the same thing to parts of Antarctica. Again, you'll see. Cool stuff. Ouija Seagull, you said, not really a gag order. I signed the Official Secrets Act in 1962. I'm 75 years old and still governed by it. But, well, I mean, I love to hear people who've been in the service, like people like yourself, and if you've worked on stuff like that, it's just awesome because everybody learns a little something. Now, of course, if it's the real deal, because I've seen people come on there and they're like, oh yeah, I did this, that, and the other, and it's totally inaccurate, but. And some people can read right through them because they'll say, oh, yeah, I worked here and there and this, that, and the other. And they go, no, you didn't. So, but there's a lot of people out there, probably like yourselves, where they're just told not to say anything. Like I said, my brother was going to go he was going to work in Area 51. This went back in the 80s, and he totally refused to. And I was like, are you insane? And like I said, I told you guys a story where he said, well, you're not allowed to talk about it. I said, and your problem is what? I said, if you got a girlfriend, you just say, I'm sorry, honey, I can't talk about it. It's top secret stuff. Okay. And leave it at that. And when you get home, how was your day? It was all right. It was pretty good. It was challenging. It was very busy, whatever, without actually getting into what you worked on. But that was one of the reasons. He said, well, it's the highest divorce rate on the base. I went, okay. I don't know why it would be. He said, well, because you can work on godly hours, and, of course, your spouse doesn't know where you are. Sure, you're working there. What are you working on? I can't tell you. Oh, okay. It's more like who you're working on. Oh, but anyway, so I still would have went there, and they wouldn't even finish the sentence. Would you like to work at area? Yes. When can I leave? I mean, it's just crazy, man. Let's see. James, you said, Chris, 2 Russian academics wrote about the material that the moon's surface is made of, and said it is what you would put on something that needed to be protected from impacts. Yeah, what was these guys? Yeah, you said they were Russians. I'm trying to remember. And these guys are supposed to be in the know too. These guys were. I thought they were also in the service, weren't they? This is a while back I heard about this, and it was just like some of the stories they told about it. It's just mind blowing. And it just makes you wonder, like, what is going on? But really, really cool stuff. Guys, we're almost up to 200. Almost up to 200 thumbs up. If you haven't hit it, please do it. Let's whack this thing and get it up there. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I mean, the more I look around and see these photos, and like I said, I just seen something mind-blowing on another guy doing telescope work. Really, really awesome. And when I seen this, I was just like, what? I stopped. I literally paused this thing. Wait a minute. Rewind this. Rewound it. And I said, wow, that is just unique. And then, like I said, he literally turns it. And you can see this thing. That is just cool. And he shows several things in this photo, in this video, rather. And it's just really, really awesome. Good stuff. Pete Ferrero, you said Lancer was taken out because he he wanted to share secret space program with the Russians for joint missions. Huh. Yeah, not good, huh? Jack DeVille, you said, my dad was with military intelligence for 45 years. He is in his late 90s and still to date will not divulge anything he knows. Man, it's sad though, isn't it? Wouldn't you just love to be able to hear that? That'd be awesome. Be like, come on, Dad, I won't tell you anything. I won't say anything to anybody tight-lipped. I swear to God I won't. Just to hear it. I mean, if he's got all kinds of information about that, it would be mind-boggling. That would be just awesome. What's going on there, Mr. Frank Centurion? Good to see you there. Got in there a little bit late, but you're good. You're all good. Yes, Blue Sunset, you said Hollow Moon. It did ring like a bell after exploding charge. Yeah, exactly. Basically, the part of the rocket, they just let it fall to the surface. So, yeah, I mean, is it completely hollow or did it have a cavernous area? One way or the other, it's partly hollow, or it already is. But, a lot of people believe there's just too many coincidences with that moon, with our moon, that's natural. It's not a natural satellite. I think there's a lot more to our moon than we can imagine. And I think a lot of the stuff we're seeing on the moon, again, was either, if we go back to what we were talking about earlier, where our solar system was probably in a different part of the universe, they said even 65 million years ago when the dinosaurs were walking the Earth, they said that our solar system our solar system was in another part of the universe. That how do we know that things didn't come to our solar system, other beings didn't come to us, our solar system? And of course, this is over millions of years it takes to traverse into the universe. So, how do you know it wasn't home to other inhabitants back then, including our moon? How do we know? Was our solar system next to another sun, even though we were a binary star system? We had two suns. But what if we were next to another, a large sun that also heated the rest of our planets? And they also believe there's more than 8, used to be 9. They also believe that there is more, in our solar system, but the planets are way out. So the thinking is now our solar system is much larger. So really interesting. And if that's true, if we were in another part of the universe, we were next to another sun, maybe on the other end of our solar system, there was more life in this solar system, even in the planets that are at the end, even though Pluto is no longer a planet, but that doesn't mean it's not a body that can't be lived on or mined. So how do we know that they didn't live there? And now this is millions of years later. We're over here now. We got one sun. And there you go. I mean, it's all just kind of things you throw around in your head to try to analyze because it's interesting to want to know, want to get this information, right? James, you said, Chris, they wrote a book about the moon and its surface, and it was unreal. They used to work for the Russian military, yeah, but were disowned by their publishing of the investigation into the. Yeah, exactly. That's what I heard. Cool. Jackie said, I keep trying to pry information out of them, but it will not say so much other than what is already public knowledge. Man, would it help them if you got them drunk? No. It's like, come on, man, spill it. And sit there with a recorder. But yeah, this just, it sucks because it's, people will take this to the grave. And it's cool that they did this because of security for their own country. But it's like, you realize, you're that much older now. I won't tell anybody. I'll keep it to myself, But some people just will not do it. Oops, thing just jumped on me again. Yeah, I heard that too, Pete. You said Carson, when you're talking about Billy Carson, he said we were in a Sagittarius galaxy that collided with Milky Way. Yeah, I mean, again, if we don't even know, if we were back then, again, our solar system is a totally part of the different galaxy of the universe, how do we know what was in our solar system at one point? We have no clue. We don't. And I think that what they're trying to come to grips with, and the first time I heard that, it was a woman scientist who was talking about this, saying about 65 million years ago when the dinosaurs were walking around, that we were in a total different part of space, so to speak. And I never thought of that. I never thought of it. I went, wow, that's cool. Which opens up a whole different bunch of possibilities, right? Think about it. Dennis Johnson, you said the Black Thing satellite, Black Knight, I think you referred to, and I do believe that the moon is built but formed. The Black Knight and the moon somehow might be connected. It might be, because at one point they said that they were being followed by this thing, and then it actually orbited around the moon. So it was around Earth, and it was going in a polar orbit, so north to south as opposed to east to west or whatever. And it was doing this, and then it followed them. They believed that was the actual craft or something that was following them. And then it was actually orbiting the moon. Now, I didn't hear if it came back. It probably did. I don't know. But just really, really cool stuff. And, a lot of people say, well, how do we know that, what this Black Knight is? Well, aren't we doing the same thing to other planets? We're bringing these orbiters to other planets to keep an eye on it or just inspect it. How do we know it wasn't a civilization that didn't do that to Earth? Ooh, plot twist. Maybe it was the Martians that did it, sent it to Earth to see what's on our planet. And it's been there ever since. I'm just kidding, guy. I don't know. But really interesting if you really think about it. We don't know. There's, again, possibilities, like you wouldn't believe. But I just find it interesting. What do you guys think of that theory? That would be pretty wild, huh? Well, idea, I should say. I'm with you too, Kyle. You said, yes, Jack, I appreciate his service. Absolutely. You can tell him that too, Jack. Say, you were on this program, and, unless he's listening, but appreciate his service, no doubt. Type net, you said, brainwave. What if the Black Knight satellite is the moon? Yeah, we don't. I mean, they are two separate things. We know that, right? Because you got the moon, and of course you got the Black Knight. But, like I said, would it be possible that, again, we're putting orbiters and landers on other planets? How do we know this wasn't another race of people that put the Black Knight here to keep an eye on us or to see what's on this planet? We have no clue. Maybe it's been there all this time and it just keeps an eye on us. It just stays there and just sees how we're evolving, how we're changing, and it's giving information back to whoever put it there. Who knows? Again, it's pure speculation, but it's kind of cool to think about that, Dennis Johnson, what are you talking about? You said, sure you wouldn't, Chris. I'm trying to think what part about you laughing about. Max K, you said, Chris, I said before my dad was on the first to make computers with IBM. He went to America. He went to America when they expanded, and I found out that NASA was involved. My dad would never talk about it. Strange. Well, keep in mind, if he made these computers or had a hand in them, he probably had to go to different places to maintain them and fix them because, these things are all new. So not many people probably knew how to work on them. It's like, what's his name? Was it Sergeant Carl Wolf? He had to do the same thing. He was a technical guy. He'd have to go to these different places to work on these computers or whatever it was. And he found and seen things that, that maybe the average civilian shouldn't see. And again, your dad might have been the same. He went there and he said, whoa, what is this crap? You know what I mean? Probably seen something he probably wasn't allowed to talk about. And it makes perfect sense to me. Ouija Seagull, you said, sorry, Chris, I had a few swallies and loose lip sync ships. Good night, all, but I will be back. No, stay here. Talk about it. But, yeah. I don't know if you're leaving because we'll be closing down here pretty soon ourselves because it is, about 3.5 hours now. So we'll definitely be shutting down ourselves. I don't know about you guys, but you guys are able to sit down and eat and watch this while I'm like starving to death. But yeah. So if you're taking off there, Ouija Seagull, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Dennis Johnston, you said it allegedly is a polar orbit. A good video on YouTube, Knowledge of Forever Time, the Black Knight satellite. Yeah, we've got one coming out where my buddy Billy from Forbidden Knowledge, he come up here and we're doing like a documentary on that. And he's going to have some people on there, including, let's see, Ken Johnston Sr., and several other people, I think it was 1 or 2 scientists. And I've brought out a lot of stuff on that, the Black Knight. So we'll be sharing, I already shared the information with him, pictures and all. And so we're hoping to get that together soon. In fact, I think they're compiling and putting that together. It may not be out until next year, I'm sure. But so, yeah, that's coming out. Be pretty interesting to see. All right, guys, it's time to call it a night. Yes, it's over. Call it a day. Anyway, anyway, guys, thank you all for being here. And it was great to have Julia in here. I doubt she's still in here to Friday night, and I don't blame her. I'd be off this thing too. But a lot of people, they don't hang, and I understand because it's the next, if you go to another country, it's obviously later and stuff like that. But much love to everybody there, much support, and you guys are just awesome. And so again, I do have the video coming out tomorrow, and then I do have the full version of Sarah's work that'll be coming out Sunday. So you guys will have something to do and something to see on the weekend, which is awesome. So again, thanks for all the support. Doesn't matter what kind of support it is. It's support as far as I'm concerned, and I love everybody for it. Nothing but respect for everybody and their views. And like I said, it's always a great time getting on here. Just like this, man, I can't wait. In fact, I was doing this video, trying to get it out earlier before the video. Before being on here, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to make it, crap. So I said, that's fine, push it aside. I got more things to do, so I got set up here to do this live feed, so it was awesome. But anyway, everybody be safe. Have a great night. You guys are awesome. Much love to everybody out there. Just be safe. That's all there is to it. And we'll definitely be doing this again. And like I said, we'll see what happens next Hangout. Might have a little something interesting for you guys. So just see you guys on next Friday. Anyway, guys, thanks for everybody being here and spending the time with us. You guys are awesome. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys later, right? Peace.